Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Ringo TV Reactions. I'm your host, Ringo. We are back again with another one. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. We got to talk about the situation that's going on with Nolan Wells' mom. They did a press conference. And it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad, guys. And I want to talk about this and break this thing down. I got a lot of work I got to do. I got to play catch up with a lot of the information that's been released. Now, for starters, the GoFundMe, as you can see, they increased it to $950,000 that they want now. And the black community continually pour in more money to these grifters. A lot of you get mad at me all the time. You show up to my shows upset. And I've been trying to warn you guys that this family is focused only on money. They don't care about Nolan. This is a money grab. All right. Now, a lot of you that are out there, you're probably on the 9-to-5 right now, trying to earn a living to pay your bills, to live your life. And this family was able to gather up literally $1 million off of the blood of their own son. You see that? So I want to discuss the information that's coming out. I got a few live streams I got to do to catch back up with what's going on. And I just want to remind you that the GoFundMe goal now is at $950,000. Keep in mind, Nolan already had a funeral, right? They most likely put him underground already, hopefully. So what exactly are they in need of all this money for? What are they doing? We know that Mr. Wonsley is not Nolan's biological father. I was the first content creator on social media to break that news when everybody else was calling Nolan a black kid. And I kept telling you that Nolan is Filipino. He's Filipino. How come Christine don't tell you who Nolan's biological father is? She won't tell you. She want the public to believe that Mr. Wonsley is the biological father, but I already aired out all the information. Not only that, we got credible witnesses that confirm, so that you can't just say, oh, Ringo, you don't know what you're talking about. No, we got the information directly from one of Nolan's friends. I believe his name is Tristan. He identified Mr. Wonsley as his stepdad. Then you had brother Emmanuel, who was doing an interview on, I believe it was Don Lemon. And Emmanuel, a close friend of the family, confirmed that Mr. Wonsley is Nolan's stepdad. And some of you look at the situation like, what does this matter? This don't mean anything. Who cares about that? It has everything to do with everything. Because people been painting Nolan as this African-American kid, and he's not. This whole story is one big grift, and the black community got played. I'm the only content creator on social media speaking the truth. The only one. Everybody else is grifting. Everybody else is doing a bunch of nonsense that's making a bunch of rhetoric all over the place, just wasting everybody's time with lies. That's all they do. You understand? And it's sickening what's going on in the world right now, because even the family is encouraging the content creators for doing what they're doing. Why? Because they're spreading the lies, keeping the case going. This case is supposed to be dead already. Everybody should have moved on. But no, the family want more money. The family didn't even update the GoFundMe, guys. If you think about it, if you go to the GoFundMe, it is still saying that this GoFundMe is going to be used for the funeral. You would think that this damn family would update the GoFundMe and say, hey guys, we appreciate you for all your love and support, X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. These are the updates. No, they just keep the GoFundMe the same way. Didn't Tyler Perry pay for the funeral? Okay, if Tyler Perry paid for the funeral, why the hell is his family still have their GoFundMe set up claiming that the GoFundMe is going to be used for the funeral? That's a lie. They lied from the start. Colin Kaepernick paid for the independent autopsy. They got everything for free, guys. Why y'all mad at me for speaking the truth? What's going on in America that whenever somebody look or appear like they're black, the black community jump on it like a bunch of leeches and begin to band with people they don't even know? You don't even know Nolan. You don't even know his mom. His mom is Filipino. She's not a black woman. How much times I gotta tell you guys this, man? She's Filipino, 100%. She's not African American. They spin the narrative as, oh, another black youth got killed by a racist white. How could Nolan friends be racist when Nolan was comfortable around his white friends? Have anybody ever thought about that? You guys are going around calling everybody in Mississippi racist, calling all of Nolan's friends racist because they're white? Nolan didn't think that. Nolan hung out with them all the time. So who are you to judge his friends by claiming that they killed him? Because that's what black content creators are doing. I got to do another video to get you guys up to speed. Let me see if I could get this this thumbnail up. Let me see if I can do this real fast. Give me a minute, guys. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Very important that you do that. Right? But I got to also talk about this later on. Don't you just love this wonderful thumbnail I put together, guys? Don't you just love that? Very nice. Right? This particular thumbnail is what I believe to be a very, very good, complete list of the major key players in the ultimate grift on YouTube concerning the Nolan Wells case. These specific content creators on this list, in my opinion, are the worst of all creators that doing content on the Nolan Wells case that have been milking the system. I'm talking about lying, manipulating, gaslighting viewers, spreading hate, and they're all getting paid. I want to see if Nolan Wells' friends got these folks on the list. Now, we know that Brandon Tatum, he's not on the list for the defamation lawsuit. We know that because he's working with those boys. But he's most likely snitching on various content creators he don't like. But the list of people that are surrounding Brandon Tatum, those are the worst offenders. I'm talking about the worst offenders. And if they're not on the list, right, then the game is rigged because it's already a race issue. And I believe, guys, that although I personally have not made this a race issue or called people racist or anything of that sort, if the defamation lawsuit only targets black influencers, then it clearly is a race issue because Nancy Grace is supposed to be in that lawsuit. If she's not in there, it's a race issue. You know that, right? If Nolan's friends is not targeting what's this guy? What's his name? Some white guy on TikTok. I forgot his damn name. I said his name a couple of times in my videos. But I'll get it another time. It'll probably come to my mind. But there's a couple of white guys that are supposed to be on the list as well. And I think it's called Secret Service Sam. He's supposed to be sued too. We know that Jeanette needs to be sued. I told you guys from the beginning that she's gonna get sued, guys. Because when she altered that audio and she released it out in the public, she basically was teaming up with Willie D Live, and Willie D said, yeah, those boys killed Nolan. So Willie D gotta be on the list to be sued. I'm gonna make 1,000 videos if Willie D end up on a list to be sued, because he needs it. Because he lies in every video. Anybody that is still subscribed or following Willie D Live, you are an idiot. Do you understand me? Because that man never tell the truth. He lie in every video. All his titles are clickbait. Nothing in his videos is the truth. Don Lemon is a grifter who hates black people, but after CNN got rid of his ass, he decided to pivot over into the pro-black space and the political arena, and he tries to make it seem like he's fighting for black people, but yet he got to be on his knees every night in front of his white husband. Make that make sense, guys. Black man acting like he fighting for black people, but he got to be on his knees singing on the mic of the white man. Ain't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? And I don't trust Officer Tatum because he already took a side. When it comes to the Nolan Well case, guys, you can't be an influencer who takes sides. You can't do that. You got to be impartial, non-biased. I don't take sides. I don't trust the side of whatchamacallit, the boys, Nolan's friends. I don't trust them. And I'll talk about that as well. And I definitely don't trust Christine and Mr. Wonsley. I think they're the ultimate grifters. They win Grifter of the Year award. But these content creators you see on the image here are the worst. I'm sure some of these faces y'all recognize. If you are watching these platforms, you need to run because they're grifters. They're money-hungry dogs. We still got to continue our video with Umar Johnson. We already know he's a sellout. All these content creators are sellouts. They do not care about the black community. They care about money. And what they do is they sell you hate. They sell you rage. They rage bait. And everything is about victimhood. These are the kind of black folk that keep black people at the bottom because they're always selling victimhood. Everything is about us struggling. Everything is about the white man oppressing us. These people are losers. And they focus only on money. And they know that most of you viewers that watch their platform, that you're stupid. And I got to call it what it is, guys. You could get upset. You could get mad. But if you are watching these content creators, you are a stupid person. There's no nice way to put it. Because only a dumbass person would take the content that these idiots publish and look at it as some sort of credible information when they lie to you every day. So we're going to get into a lot of these things later on, guys. But I want to focus primarily on the press conference of the mother with Crump and the other ambulance chasers that are after your money. Again, for the court of public opinion, Christine Wonsley is a Filipino. She's not black. She's not an African-American woman. She's not. Nolan Wells is a Filipino. Do you understand? Full-blown Filipino. Let me go get a receipt because we got to do this all the time, guys, because we get new viewers every now and then. And I got to make sure that everybody's up to speed on what's going on. So let me do this real fast. Let me go to Nolan Wells' page because we got to keep updating viewers, guys. It's like we got to keep on updating people because they just don't get it. So let me go to Nolan Wells' Instagram page so I can get the receipts for you guys. Make sure you are clicking that like button, guys. You support these demons on YouTube. You support their platform. These guys are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month lying to you. I'm the only platform that speak the truth, and I receive the most hate because I'm not going along with the get along gang. On social media, you got to go along with the get along gang in order to be liked. You got to lie to people in order to be supported. But this is Nolan Wells' Instagram. You see him there? What do you see there, guys? Look at that. This is Nolan Wells. What do you see on the screen there? That's a Filipino flag. That's Nolan representing his pride of being a Filipino. That's the Philippines flag, guys. Right on the cover of Nolan Wells' page. But y'all keep calling this kid black. I keep telling y'all he's not. Do you not understand that there's other groups of people that have melanated skin? But the black community is so damn dumb, they go along with the get along gang. Anybody that look like they're black, we just say they're black. Then you got these FBA grifters who's always calling people a tether, right? You call everybody a tether but the mother, who's the ultimate tether, because she's riding the plight of black people and benefiting from it. We're talking about once they pull Nolan's body from the water, she went and hired Ben Crump, a civil rights attorney. Why would you hire a civil rights attorney when no civil rights been violated? Because she wanted to make it a race issue. Keep in mind, Nolan and his family live in a white community. So why would they have so much hatred for white people all of a sudden? Why? Why all of a sudden they need black folk to band with them? They didn't give a fuck about you folks. They live in the white community. They wanted to get as far away from black people as possible. But once Nolan died, all of a sudden, Christine said, you know what? I want to be black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to act like I'm black because I got a black husband. He's the stepdaddy, so I'm going to make him appear like he's Nolan's father. And keep in mind, Christine got other drama going on in her life where some information was pretty much released and leaked to the internet. And you had a woman named Sarah Fields that pretty much talked about it concerning Nolan Wells' mama and 3 kids that was basically allegedly given over to her previous man when they were just young babies. And keep in mind, she was pregnant already with Nolan. So that means she may have allegedly been cheating on her previous man. And we don't even know who that guy is and why she don't even talk about these kids and all her issues concerning her kids being taken away. Anytime children are given away to the father and he gets custody, it's because she's a bad mom. So Christine didn't care about her own 3 kids. So why all of a sudden she got all this love for Nolan? And based on word that's going around, Nolan didn't even live with her. Nolan visited her, but she's benefiting. Nolan didn't even live with her. These people have been lying, guys. Lying. Al Sharpton is a liar. He lied on the boys. Now keep in mind, guys, I'm not on nobody's side. So I'm not defending the boys and I'm not defending the mom. I'm just focusing on truth. That's the side I'm on, the side of truth. If you listen to the interviews with the boys, they made it very clear that Nolan never took his car. Nolan left the keys at the house where he was staying. So there's no need to take the keys. But Al Sharpton tried to make it look like the boys stole his car and stole his phone. We're going to get into that too. But anyway, guys, let's get into the press conference and find out what's going on. Because every time we turn on the TV, turn on the internet, you always see Mr. Wonsley. He looked like he's under some sort of drug. And you always see Christine making these stupid faces like she's crying. Guys, she's not crying. She got over $852,000 in her bank. Do you know how wonderful that feels? How many of you wish you had $852,000 sitting in your bank right now? You'll be feeling real good. You'll be feeling very lovely. You'll go to work with a smile on your face every day, knowing that you got bread like that sitting in the account. See, some of us, we don't even care about being millionaires. If we could just have some bread in the account that look good, we good. We'll be at peace. We don't got to work as hard. So when you see her come outside and she's still acting like she's crying, she's lying, guys. She already had enough time to do that. She never even cried at the funeral. Matter of fact, the funeral was a circus show. It was a pep rally. Notice at Nolan Wells' funeral, guys, you ain't see no family. You ain't see no kinfolk. You ain't see nobody go up there to speak on behalf of Nolan. What kind of funeral was that? Is that the typical black funeral? No. When you go to a real black funeral, everybody's up there crying. Everybody's talking. Everybody's speaking on behalf of their loved one. She never shed not one tear. You see what I'm saying? That's how y'all gotta peep this, man. But anyway, gang, let's get into this I was about to say pep rally. Let's get into this press conference and break this thing down. Let's get into the content. Let's go. Let's do this thing here.
Right.
Good morning. Let me say the case that we have been dealing with now for the last several weeks around Nolan Wells is indicative of many cases around the country that have raised serious questions with racial overtones.
Why is it racial overtones? See, Al Sharpton is a racist. I never liked this guy. Never. From way back in the 80s, guys, this guy always been a hypocrite, always been like this, a race hustler. What racial overtone? His friends were white and Nolan had no problem. So if Nolan have no problem, why do we? Why? Because if Nolan's friends was black, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. Nobody would be at this live show. Nobody would care. And that, I'm just being honest. Those of you that are in the clouds viewing, you know good and well, if Nolan Wells' friends were black, you would not care about this case, right or wrong. You won't care. It'll just be another day at the office. His friends were black. It's not an issue, right? Because if his friends were black, we can't accuse Mississippi of being a racist state. You see that? So you can't use race. You can't talk about a sundown town if his friends were black. You can't talk about he was lynched if his friends were black. You can't say that. So, and you won't hire a civil rights attorney. Ben Crump never comes out when there's black on black crime or if somebody die amongst black friends. Case in point, a Ken Liverpool. A Ken Liverpool, a black young man who drowned just like Nolan. He was on a boat celebrating his birthday. He was with his all black friends and family on a boat, on the bow of the boat. He was drinking and he was dancing. He fell over and guess what? None of his black friends seen what happened. Where's Ben Crump? How come Ben Crump is not talking about that story? Ben Crump don't give a fuck about a Ken Liverpool. Up to this day, you go check out all the social medias. You don't see Ben Crump even addressing a Ken Liverpool. You know why? Ben Crump don't care. Because a Ken Liverpool's friends are all black. You can't make no money that way. He's a race hustler. He depends on content and topics that deals with blacks and whites. That's the only way he can make money. You understand? Shout out to Combat Medic for the $5 support. Appreciate you sponsoring the work. That's how he worked. Same thing with Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton put up a $50,000 reward trying to flex. Trying to act like he got bread to give. Nobody ain't collect the reward. You know why? Because nobody ain't gonna come forward. Anybody that come forward for any money is an idiot. Because they're gonna be interrogated and dragged in to the detective's center and questioned. Ain't gonna be so easy. Right? Let's get back to the content. Hit the like button.
Attorney Crump and I are going tomorrow. Where I'm doing the eulogy for a young black man in Madison, Wisconsin, homeless, and they say had a knife, and there's the tape of him being shot 3 cops surrounding him, shot and killed.
Do you see this? He got time to go give a eulogy for a black guy who was homeless, who was shot by cops. I bet all the cops are white. But he don't got no time to talk about a Ken Liverpool. He don't got no time for that, guys. And keep in mind, when you hire a civil rights attorney, a civil rights attorney is not trying to get you put in prison. A civil rights attorney is trying to get the family money. Do you get that? That's the purpose of a civil rights attorney. You know, they didn't hire a criminal defense attorney. No. A civil rights, because they're after money. This is all about money, guys. You got to understand. This whole grift is about money. Everybody's standing to make money. All them folks that you see standing up there, they all got a hand in making some money off this case.
4 shots. And these cases building up in a climate of an administration in Washington that we cannot feel will objectively investigate. There was a time that we could say if state authorities fail us, we can go to the Justice Department. Even under George Bush, we went to the Justice Department. We, at this point, have to hope that one, we could deal with civil courts, or secondly, that there's a balance of power with the Democrats taking.
What work did Ben Crump do? To the person who said, do you think Ben Crump is doing this for free? Not a chance. And the mother is on the grift, in my opinion. What work did Ben Crump do? Nothing. He ain't do no work. The internet is doing the work. The content creators are the ones talking about the story. Ben Crump is just a spokesperson, a grifter, a race hustler. His job is to rally the troops, to get everybody to get their money out their pocket. That's it. He ain't do no work. Ben Crump be having like 10 different cases at the same time. One minute you'll see him with Nolan's mom, then you'll see him at a press conference with another black family doing another grift. That's all he do. What work is he doing? He don't got no time. He's just showing face.
In the House in November, and maybe the Judiciary Committee under that can at least put a check and balance on cases that need to be investigated. But we are right now where we have 2 parents, lovely parents. I've gotten to know them.
Somebody in the chat said Ben Crump went to school and college degrees to have a good paying job. Yeah, and pastors go to cemetery school, not seminary school, not seminary. They go to cemetery school in order to take your money too at church. It's all one big hustle. So your point was pointless. Let's go.
Really don't have an answer to a question. Is it a civil rights violation or not? And we do not know. How do you trust the words of people that say immediately there was no foul play when you haven't even investigated whether it was foul play?
All of a sudden, Al Sharpton becomes law enforcement. First of all, they never said that it's no foul play. It appears to be no foul play. So you got the words all twisted. You see? Law enforcement know how to do their job. When they're investigating the scene, they understand that the way it appears, it don't appear to be any foul play. That's not a stamp of approval like, okay, there was never no issues, because there still got to be an investigation. But based on how it appears, it don't appear to be any foul play. So why are you rubbing it in, Al Sharpton? You're not law enforcement. Let's go.
How do you trust people that come back from something that...
to the person who says, you acting like you were there. What evidence you got? Why the fuck you watching me if you have a problem with me? Why are you even here? Why are you watching? Why don't you go fuck yourself? Why are you here? This don't make no damn sense. I don't understand. How could you be a person who have an issue with me? Oh, you acting like you were there. The news media were not there, but you listen to them, dumbass. TMZ was not there, but you listen to them, dumbass. All these other influencers were not there, but you listen to them, dumbass. Nobody was there, but you listening to them. It's always me. Oh, you were not there. Nobody was there. Al Sharpton was not there. Ben Crump was not there. None of these idiots were there, but you listening to them, dummy. Talk about that. It's always some idiot talking about you were not there, but you were not there. So why are you here listening to me for? You mad because I'm making the most sense. I'm the only one on social media speaking the truth, while all you do is point fingers. You got this whole damn family grifting. They ain't doing nothing for the black community, but just trying to raise money for this family who's robbing the community blind.
Happened, and never really give you a straight story of what happened, including you have the keys to the car. So when you have more questions than answers, you have to have people that will drive the answers out, and that's what we do. And that's why I've been involved, and that's why we stay involved. And it gets worse and worse and worse. The parent of one of the boys threatening to sue us for asking a question. Imagine that now. Some of y'all call us, what do you feel about the parents? One of the boys says he's going to sue you and Ben Crump. Sue us for what? For saying what happened? So we've gone back that far. And that is why we're going to stand with these parents, because usually, you know, I come from Brooklyn, New York. I was born and raised there. I don't come from the South. But my mother used to bring me down south to my grandmother in Dothan, Alabama. And Congressman, my grandmother told me.
See, when it comes to the defamation case, guys, when it comes to the defamation case, right, you got to understand how this works, right? The defamation case with Nolan's friends is mainly going to target black people. You understand? It's going to mainly target these grifters that you see on the screen here. Like, these are the worst offenders when it comes to the Nolan Wells case. These folks have been spreading the most lies. Judge Mathis, he's been spreading a lot of lies. Umar Johnson, a lot of lies. Tissa Tales, lies. Fumi, lies. LaQuata Keisha, lies. All of them. Willie D's, all of these people that you see on the screen there is all lies, right? The only one that been riding with the boys has been Tatum, right? And I don't trust him either, because basically he have been bought and paid for already. We already know he's a different kind of grifter. He's grifting differently from the black folk that are actually doing this. And then you have Nancy Grace. She's also a grifter too, who been trying to get the black vote by siding with the CETO call that Jeanette put out there. So when you think about it, these people have put out a lot of lies and misinformation in order to get money. So if Nolan's friends were really having a defamation lawsuit, the big willies are supposed to be at the top of the list, because what's the point of suing if there is no money to be made? So you're not going to try to sue a content creator that's broke, a content creator that's not bringing in no money. You're going to want to get the big fish. You understand? That's what you're going to want to get. To the person who says, but you're grifting now, I think you need to educate yourself on what grifting mean. Because you're a dummy and you didn't graduate high school. Matter of fact, you didn't graduate junior high school. So I suggest you look up the word grifting and then understand the meaning of the word before you actually use it. Now, let's get back to the content, guys. Hit the like button. Let's go.
You see that pen over there? I said, yes. She said, that's a pen of hogs and pigs. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, always know something. If you take a brick and you throw it in that pile, the hog that hollers is the hog you hit. There's too much hollering going on in Mississippi.
You see that? He's a racist. He has a problem with white people in Mississippi. That's the problem here. It's people like Al Crump that keep this race issue going. These people live in the past, guys. You have to understand. It's like a rapper, right? Let's say you got a rapper from back in the days, you know, one of the greats, you know, the Big Daddy Kanes, the Rakims, all these particular rappers, right? That's like in today's day. It's 2026, and they're trying to be relevant in today's day. They can't be, guys. It's done. Their time is over. We appreciate the 80s. We appreciate what they done, the foundation. We appreciate what the Kanes did, the Rakims. We appreciate their work. But at the same time, we're in a new day. So they're not relevant anymore. Al Sharpton and these guys are trying to stay relevant in today's day, living in the past. And they want black folk to continue to think like slaves. We're in 2026. If you're black, you could get a job anywhere. You can go to college, you could go to school, you can take up a trade, you can bank, you can purchase automobiles, homes, you can rent properties. You can do anything that any so-called white person can do in America. So why the fuck you still complaining about racism and all this other shit? It makes no sense. Makes no sense. Look, the kind of people that keep complaining are the victims. The people who have a poor self-worth mentality. Like they just look at themselves as meaningless and they're always comparing themselves to other groups of people. It's all jealousy at the end of the day. It's pure jealousy, guys. Let's go.
That we haven't hit something. I can't figure out which one we hit.
Look, you got a troll in the chat that says, you thinking about money. Now talk about the control dynamics. What? Them folks love to play with. Control dynamics. If anybody's controlling you, it's because you're controllable. It's just that simple. You're a slave. It's just like black people being enslaved for 400 years, right? Explain to me, how is it that when you go to the black community, you have a bunch of blacks claiming that they're thugs, they're gangsters, they got gangs, they could do this, do that, ray, right? But you in slavery for 400 plus years. Explain that to me. So you mean to tell me you stood in slavery for 400 plus years? It's because you're weak. It's just that simple. Whoever is able to put you in slavery is the stronger. It's just that simple. Nobody can hold you somewhere without a fight. So for you to stay there and complain while your women are being sexually violated, your kids are being violated, and you men stood in slavery and wouldn't rather say, you know what, I'd rather die than stay here, then something wrong with you. You're weak. It's just that simple. And this is why they get upset with me, fam. Just like they got upset with Kanye. Remember when Kanye said that slavery was a choice? And the black community got upset with Kanye. They said Kanye was crazy. They said Kanye was a nut job for saying that. But what he said was true, guys. It was a choice. It's just like it's a choice if you're a woman and you stay in an abusive relationship. That's a choice. Think about how many women are in an abusive relationship and they stay. They know this man is beating them. They're literally in slavery, but they choose to stay. Well, that's exactly what black people did in slavery. There you go. All right. Let's go.
But we hit something. Because now they talking about lawsuits. They threatening threatening a mother of a child, trying to get her job taken. You wouldn't be hollering.
First of all, Christine, in my opinion, don't like white people. She already made this a race issue. So when you're in the medical field, I take that very serious because for all we know, she may not give people the proper treatment that they deserve because you're making it a race issue. Anytime you make anything a race issue, it becomes a problem with your employment. And if you don't see that, then something's wrong with you. Something's wrong with you. It's like if you hate white people, then why would you want to work around white people? Why would you want a doctor to take care of you? How could you trust a white doctor if you're such a racist as a black man? Right? It don't make no sense. Do you go to mechanics that are black? Do you go to supermarkets that are owned by black people? Or do you just go to a supermarket because they got good produce and services and you just got to get your goods and leave? I don't care what ethnic group you're from. As long as you're providing quality service, I'm shopping. It's just that simple. So when she make this a race issue and she's trying to point out Nolan's friends as all racist and putting Mississippi on blast, you got to think about the residents of Mississippi and what this is doing for their towns, their businesses, and so on and so forth. It's going to make people be like, yo, I don't even want to go to Mississippi. Yeah, they racist down there. You them white folk? Oh, yeah, they racist. Well, what about the black folk? Are they racist too? Because the way they're trying to paint this is that white people all over Mississippi are all racist. What does all the people in Mississippi have to do with Nolan Wells? They weren't at Horn Island. So what we got to focus on is Horn Island. What about all the other people that were at the island? How come there's nobody else that's talking about this thing that was there? How come there are no witnesses, guys? Now, I want y'all to think about this. How come out of the boys and everybody that was with Nolan, right? How come no one else came forward to say, hey, I was at Horn Island too. I saw Nolan. Everybody's staying quiet. So that's kind of suspect, guys. That's suspect, because it's like nobody else that was at Horn Island have come forward to say, hey, we saw the boys. Yeah, we saw Nolan. Oh, we saw this. Everybody staying quiet. Something happened to Nolan. We know that. I personally believe, and I said this 1,000 times in my videos, guys, in my opinion, Nolan, based on all the facts and everything that's out there, all these boys were drinking, right? Up to now, Ben Crump, Al Sharpton, Nolan's mom, none of them don't want to address the issues of the fact that these boys were all drinking, possibly using drugs. Nobody want to talk about that. You understand? They were out in the hot sun. Do you know you could get a heat stroke out there and literally pass out? If you're in the water with no life jacket, you catch a heat stroke, you will die. It's just that simple, right? So everybody was out there at sea. Nobody saw nothing. These boys said that they were leaving the island to go back to the mainland. And at no point did they say, hey, Nolan, let me give you your phone because I know you're going to be out here. Let me give you your phone so you could contact us. Maybe we could come back out and pick you up if need be. And what did Warren do? Warren called the mom, right? And asked the mom, have you heard from Nolan? How you going to call the mom and ask the mom, have you heard from Nolan when Nolan don't have a phone? Does that make sense? That don't make no sense at all. But let's get back to the content. Let's go. Hit the like button.
If we wasn't hitting something, and we're going to stay on that, and we're going to stay on it all the way. In light of that, before attorney, and I call him the Attorney General of Black America, gives us the legal basis, and then we hear from...
Notice this. He's calling Ben Crump the Attorney General of Black America. Do y'all agree with that? Do so-called Black Americans believe that Ben Crump is the Attorney General of the Black community? I don't remember voting for that.
Parents, Congresswoman who lived herself through dealing with the whole tragedy of her own son. That's how we met. On a plane. She was a flight attendant at the time. And she stopped me on the plane and said, "Red man, why ain't you dealing with my son's case?" And we started a relationship. She ended up being elected right here in Georgia and reelected. They redrew her lines and she was reelected.
We don't care about her or her being reelected. So stop trying to promote her. All of this is political, guys. These people don't care about Nolan. This is all politics.
Anyhow, the lines couldn't reduce the favor of the people. Congresswoman Lucy McBath.
Good afternoon, everyone. First, I want to say thank you to Reverend Al Sharpton and also thank you to Attorney Crump for being the armor bearers for this family, the Nolan's family. It's a really, really sad occasion that we're here again. I was just saying to my staff on the way in, it's like this brings back so many vivid memories for me and my own family, having lost Jordan to unnecessary gun violence in November 2012, Black Friday, simply because he was black and playing loud music in his car. And so here we are again today, here for the loss of another black young man.
Do you see how they keep promoting Nolan as another black young man when Nolan is a Filipino? Notice, not once in the entire month of July and now in August have you even heard them mention Filipino up to now, because they want him to be painted as black, because they want the black community to give all their money. Just the other day, you had that Asian man, Chow, who unalived the young boy, shot him in the back, and the black community said, oh, we're going to boycott the Asian businesses. Once black folks started to boycott, they gave you the Nolan Wells case, threw you off, distracted you completely, and then you start pouring all of your money went directly into the Asian community again. Think about that. All that money went into this family. For what? So now when you die, when you have a relative that die, you get rich now? When did this happen? This doesn't make any sense, man. It's interesting how people have no problem with this grifting family raising literally $1 million for nothing. They got a free funeral, free autopsy done. Okay, where the money going? What's the objective of all of this? Because nothing's going to come out of this, guys. There's no evidence, no proof, nothing. And all they're getting is they're accusing people of taking Nolan's life. But nobody have ever thought about the fact that there could have been an accident, dehydration, drugs, alcohol. Nobody want to talk about that because they want to paint an issue here that says, oh, these white kids wanted to kill Nolan. Keep in mind, friends that Nolan known for a long time, that he hung with all the time. You see countless photos with Nolan shirtless, always hanging out with his buddies. But now all of a sudden they decide they want to kill him, right? I don't believe that. I don't believe that Nolan friends killed him. I believe that they may have witnessed something, that something may have happened and everybody saw or known, even though they didn't do nothing to him, but they saw something. And the reason why is because if we look at that other case, let me see if I can find it, because I talked about it at my last stream and I don't know if I got the correct name. Let me see. Black man drowned and friends tampered with evidence. Let me see what case that was. I think it was Irvin or something. So Daniel, was that Daniel? Let me see. I think it was Daniel Irving or something. Let me see if I could pull this up and read this out. Okay, let me see. All right, where we at? All right, let me get this on the screen so we kind of look at this. And guys, ignore the trolls, right? Because in any second I could switch this over to members only, and they won't even be in the chat because they're too broke to be members anyway. Right? I'm just literally allowing these folks to be here because they keep the engagement up. Right? Let's put this on the screen, guys. So let me see. It says you are likely referring to two high-profile, closely timed cases involving the drowning death of 18-year-old black men who companions were accused of destroying or withholding evidence. The case of Daniel Irvin. Daniel, an 18-year-old honor roll student and varsity swimmer, drowned in Lake Ray, Humbard, Texas, after jumping from a railroad bridge with companions. Right. In that particular case, guys, his friends basically did the unthinkable. Look what it says. Let me open this up because I want you to understand that even your friends can tamper with evidence, which means just because somebody's your friend, it doesn't mean that they're going to tell the truth. It says the evidence tampering. Instead of calling 911 or alerting Irvin's mother when he disappeared beneath the water, the two teenagers with him fled the scene. Investigators established that 19-year-old Lucas Roper threw Irvin's clothes into a tree line, instructed a 17-year-old juvenile to throw Irvin's cell phone out of a car window and delete his own text messages. And Roper later told police he panicked and deleted the messages to avoid getting in trouble. Now keep in mind, guys. Hold on a second. Let me do this real fast. Give me a minute. Let me see. Okay. Shout out to Monica. Shout out to you for the $1.99. Appreciate you sponsoring the show. Also, James, salute to you for the support. Let me see. Make sure I shout out all this real quick, guys. James Home, shout out to you for the membership. And Jens 75, shout out to you for the $10 support. Okay. So guys, now that we pointed that out, right? I need for you to understand that just because Nolan had friends, it doesn't mean that they can't tamper with stuff, because we can see that from the Irvin case. Irvin drowned. Those boys, they weren't responsible for him drowning. They didn't kill him per se, right? He probably got injured when he jumped off that railroad thing. And he probably hit something and died and broke his leg or something. Something probably happened. But the whole point is they tampered with evidence and covered up what happened. And those were his friends. So obviously, friends can betray you. See, this is the problem in society. We think because Nolan's friends were his friends, that there's no possible chance that they could tamper with something. I can't accuse them of murdering Nolan because I don't have those facts, but we can speculate based off of the case of Daniel Irvin. It's similar to how when you get pulled over by a cop and, you understand your rights and blah, blah, blah. You can bring up a case where something happened and a judge threw something out, and that would absolutely make the cop stop his bull crap because he could get himself in trouble. So when we look at Daniel Irvin's, his friends tampered with evidence. So who's to say that evidence haven't been tampered with or information is being withheld in the Nolan Wells case from his own friends? They could have all conspired together and said, look, guys, let's just stick with the story and we'll be good. They could have all been smoking, drinking. Nolan could have got had an overdose on some drugs. Remember, what's this guy, Tatum? And he wasn't the first to say this. I've been told you guys that there's a possibility that Nolan overdosed on drugs. And that's why it's taking so long for the toxicology results to come in. But now think about this, guys. Tatum got on his own broadcast and basically claimed that he had some information of somebody claiming that somebody was possibly trying to offer people drugs or something along those lines at Horn Island. That's what Tatum said. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys heard Tatum say that for the court of public opinion, so that we're all on the same page, because we need to make sure that we have everything that's accurate, because this is what Tatum put out. Since a lot of you guys, you trust Tatum because he's your God, he's your Lord and Savior, and you believe everything he say is facts, right? Nobody believed me when I said I believe that Nolan Wells died due to a possible overdose. Nobody believed me. But as soon as Tatum came out and said, oh, I got some information and I'm going to most likely give it to law enforcement of somebody possibly passing out drugs or offering the kids drugs and whatnot, then all of a sudden now everybody want to praise Tatum for that. So there's a possibility, guys, that Nolan could have OD'd on drugs or something, smoked something, drank some sort of alcohol, something, and he died. And because of that, his friends may have known about it. And instead of just saying, hey, we were smoking, we had a few drinks, we were drinking something that's a little different, just having a good time, and Nolan just passed out and he went underwater, his body, we couldn't bring him up, and he just went under and we couldn't even dive that deep, and it's like, I don't know, and we just panicked. Look what the friends of Irvin said, guys, that they panicked and deleted the messages to avoid getting in trouble. Well, if those friends did that to their own friend, then who's to say it can't be done to Nolan Wells? Who said that Nolan Wells' friends are saints that are perfect and could do no wrong? Come on now. It don't make no sense, guys. Makes no sense at all. See, Officer Tatum didn't actually do a great job in getting another side. No, that's not what happened, right? I'm going to give you the answer to that because a lot of people don't understand. When I first saw the interview, I thought it was a good idea. And this is what happens when you investigate content and you look at videos. At first glance, it appeared as if though Officer Tatum was doing a good job, but actually he incriminated these boys. When Officer Tatum did that interview with these boys, he actually put them in hot water. The public didn't know nothing about them other than the fact that the mother put out a photo. Once he got those boys to start talking, that's when the public began to talk about them. That's when the death threats came. That's when everything started to come. So Officer Tatum actually put them in harm's way. Officer Tatum is a former officer. I don't trust him. I'm not speaking to no law enforcement when it comes to situations like this, especially a content creator who's focusing on earning money. So once he brought those boys out into the public, right, and they began to speak, they didn't exercise their rights of remaining silent. Remember, you got the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Okay, they didn't exercise their rights. They began to speak. So by the time they start talking, everybody began to make videos. And now they complaining that people putting out lies. Well, if you were to shut your mouth and just talk to your lawyer, you won't have these problems. So the way I see it is it's one big setup to make the boys come out in the public, make them talk, get the content creators to speak, and then you hire a fucking defamation attorney to try to go after content creators for money. Come on now, it's a grift. And here's the thing. If you're getting death threats, it's not coming from us content creators, because no content creators is making death threats, because you won't have a YouTube platform or a social media platform if you did that. So it's not coming from us. So whoever it's coming from, the best thing you can do is go to law enforcement so they can take care of that. Right? So everybody's trying to make money. You understand? Brandon brought those boys out to make them speak. A real attorney would tell them boys to shut up. You don't got nothing to speak about. Why? Because you didn't do nothing. If you didn't do nothing, why are you even interviewing? If I know I left on my boat and Nolan wanted to stay at the island, I don't got nothing to do with that man. Nothing. I'm not speaking. I'm not saying a word. You know why? Because you don't got no evidence that I did anything to Nolan. So I'm not wasting my time with social media. For them boys to be doing interviews and to be going on a world tour speaks volumes. It's a sign of guilt. It's an admission of guilt because you're trying to explain yourself. That's like me trying to explain to black people that I'm black. Well, Ringo, you're not black enough. What makes you? Why should we support you? I don't got to explain myself. If you have to explain yourself, then you must be guilty of something. You get what I'm saying? Let's get back to the content, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's go.
In our community. And we find ourselves asking the same questions. How did it happen? Why did it happen? And this family stands here demanding answers. This family deserves answers.
They keep demanding answers. He drowned. Case closed. Let's move on. Why are you trying to blame somebody when you have no evidence of nothing? That's sick. They basically want to lynch some white kids. But if the kids were black, we would not have this conversation. That's hate. That's what racism is all about. If Nolan's friends were black, we would not have this conversation, man.
I myself sought the same justice for my son, Jordan, that they're seeking for theirs, and they deserve answers. And they deserve justice. Amen. Justice that should not be denied this family, or should ever be denied to any of our children or our lost loved ones. As a member of the Congressional Black Caucus, I'm the second vice chair of the Congressional Black Caucus.
Do you see what she's doing, guys? Promoting herself. Do you see what I mean? This is all political, guys.
We are demanding a full federal investigation. Kash Patel, we're demanding a full federal investigation.
Investigation of what? Where do we start? Where? You guys didn't even give up Nolan's phone. You guys talking all this crap about these other boys and whatnot, you guys didn't even give up Nolan's phone to investigators to investigate. Stop.
As to what has actually happened to Nolan Wells. We want to make sure that every stone is unturned because his life matters. All of our children's and our families' lives matter.
We're not talking about all of our children. So stop trying to gaslight. Stop trying to use psychology here. Right? What matters to that family is money. Why don't the family of Nolan put up the GoFundMe as a reward to lead to any information that can lead to an arrest or a conviction? How about they do that? Put up the GoFundMe money. Put up the $800,000 as a reward. They ain't going to do that. That money is more important than Nolan. You have to understand, guys, family will sell you out for money. A lot of y'all know what I'm talking about. Your family done betrayed you. A lot of you, your family already betrayed you. You know how dirty family can really be. A lot of y'all seen families fight at funerals, fighting over material things, fighting over the house, fighting over the car. Well, I want the car. Well, I want the clothes. Well, people die. People start fighting in the family over material things. But y'all want this. Y'all want to believe that Nolan's mom really cares about Nolan at this point when she's getting all this social media fame, her TikTok blowing up, her Instagram have hundreds of thousands of followers. Think about all of the opportunities she have right now because of Nolan's death. She's making money.
And we must fight back. We must stand up and we must demand accountability for this family's loss.
Accountability? Let's start with the fact that Nolan's mom and dad didn't even know where he was. How you going to talk about you didn't know Nolan's friends, but Nolan is hanging out with these friends and spending the night? So Nolan was able to spend a night at these white boys' houses, but the mom and dad didn't know nothing about it? Didn't have nobody's phone number to reach Nolan to say, hey, where you at? She didn't know nothing, right? See, she's acting like she don't know these white boys because that's the narrative they want out there so she could pull the race card.
We cannot turn a blind eye to what continues to happen again.
Nolan's mother is not a grieving mother. So stop all this bull crap about pocket watching a grieving mother. That mother is not grieving. She don't give a fuck about Nolan. Fuck her. You could go tell her that Ringo TV said, fuck Christine. I don't care about her. She's not no damn grieving mother. She is a grifter. She's a race hustler, and she's responsible for literally turning Mississippi upside down. You understand? She's wicked as hell. She don't care about her son. She's exploiting her son's death for personal gain. And because people are so stupid, they just continue to support her blindly. That's what she's doing.
And again, that's the reason why I ran for Congress. To make sure that we continue to put a face on what's happening to our families and our communities every single day.
Do you see how this woman is talking like white people are just destroying black people every day? You have to think about what they're doing, guys. I don't like these kind of folks that put out all of this race hustling bait because all that stuff does, it divides communities, guys. That's all they do, fam. Let's go.
We must say,
clip these nuts. How about you do that? I don't give two flying F's about how folks feel about me. Listen, when it comes to me, guys, I'm a man and I say what I need to say. I'm not somebody that gonna bite my lip, bite my tongue when it comes to saying what needs to be said. If you don't like me, fuck you. I don't care. You understand what I mean? I'm a grown man. I've learned a long time ago. People can be some of the most twisted, wicked folks ever. They'll switch up. 1 minute they with you, next minute they don't. 1 minute they with you, next minute they don't. That's how people are, guys. They flip-flop all the time. You got to learn to speak your mind and stop kissing ass. We live in a society where everybody kiss ass. I'm not kissing nobody's behind. I'm going to say what needs to be said straightforward. Let's go. Hit that like button.
Nolan's name. Say his name. Lift his name.
Lift his name? Wow. So his name is higher than the Messiah's name? Last time I heard in a black church, they were saying, lift the name of Jesus. Now they saying, lift the name of Nolan, fam. Wow.
And as the national black journalist of this country, you have the ability to be able to lift this story and not let it die.
See? Not let it die. So they don't want the story to die. Why? Because if it died, they won't make no more money. They need the story to stay alive. Do you see what she just said? She wants the story to continue to go on and on and on. That's why. So they can make money. All those people up there make money off this case, man.
We see over and over again these kinds of tragedies in our communities that continue to happen. And they make it to CNN. They make it to MSN Now. They make it to our local news for maybe 30 days, if that. And then the stories are gone. And the carnage is left with the families and the communities that have lost someone that they love.
You see how she's trying to make everything all emotional to make you feel sad? Fam, I don't feel anything, fam. I don't feel not one bit, because this is not a grieving family. This is a wicked family that been exploiting the community. She turned Mississippi upside down, and I can guarantee you they probably already in preparations to move. Probably already did, fam. Let's go.
So I thank the National Black Journalist. Thank you for lifting this family story. Do not let it die. Continue to say his name. Continue to tell his story, because they deserve justice, and it matters. It mattered for me. It mattered for Trayvon. It mattered for Eric Brown. It matters for all of our loved ones that we have lost.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. This is an election year, Ringo. Yeah, so basically they're campaigning right now. They're campaigning, so when it comes time to vote, right, everybody will remember the work that they did. It's all about money, fam. These people don't care about nothing else but that money.
As Attorney Crump comes, let me say, as Congressman McBath has said, the caucus has asked federal government to look into it. For those of us that are worried about the politicalization of the present administration, that is why January becomes important, that we have a judiciary committee that can also monitor when investigation happens now or does not happen. So it won't end there. They may come out with any announcement they want in the next month or so. We having a big march August 28th in Washington we must deal with voting rights.
Do you see what they're talking about, guys? Do you see what, this is a political thing. This is not about Nolan, guys. Y'all can't see the hustle. Y'all can't see it.
We have the right people in so we can check and balance. I want to say to people in Mississippi, whatever investigation you come with, once we have a fair and balanced government, your investigation will be investigated. It will.
In other words, if we could get the right people in, we could solve these cases. We can have the right resources, the right people. That's basically what he's saying, fam. It's a political campaign that they're doing right here, fam. Off of the back of Nolan's wells, fam. This is sick.
End with what they say in Mississippi. Attorney General of Black America, Benjamin Crump.
Now here come Ben Crumper and the so-called Griff family. Now watch how Christine Wonsley start to put on the facial expressions like she's sad and then you're gonna have Mr. Wonsley. He always played dumb in the background. They always make him look like an idiot in the background. Let's go.
So much, Mentor. Reverend Al, thank you for helping not only lead the effort to get to the truth, but keeping this family in your prayers as you have done so many more families, giving them support. I'm Attorney Ben Crump, along with Attorney Eric Hertz.
Just keep your eye on Christine. Let me see if I can do this real fast. Let me see if I can increase this so you can see more close up of this. As she put on all the theatrics, notice Mr. Wonsley in the background looking like he's high on some sort of drug, just keeping his eyes closed, just with his head down. He does this all the time. Watch the acting, the poor acting on these two.
Lisa Park, attorney Ahmad Smith, we have the honor of representing the family of Nolan Wells. Obviously, you all have come to know his parents, Christine and Elmore Wonsley. And this is hard. I heard Congresswoman Macbeth, who lost her son Jordan almost 12 years ago, and it's still raw and emotional when you hear her talk about the loss of a child. I mean,
loss of a child. He was a grown man. He was 18 years old. Let's go.
He's not coming back.
How come she's not talking about the 3 kids that were taken away and given to the other guy? Isn't that a loss too? Let's go.
And that is the story. Everything else is just...
Look at Christine's face as she's playing for the cameras.
You know, hyperbole is distraction. The story is what happened to Nolan Wells.
He drowned. That's what happened. He drowned. He was drinking. Let's talk about that, Mr. Crump. Nolan was drinking. How come you don't talk about that, Crump? Crump, how come you don't talk about Nolan drinking and all his buddies were getting drunk? How about that? Nobody's talking about that. Why? They were underage. They were 18. How he drinking? Nobody was there supervising him.
Somebody knows something. Somebody saw something. I'm thankful to Reverend Al Sharpton and Mr. Tyler Perry and Terrell Owens and Byron Allen putting up these rewards. I understand others have now put up rewards, and that's good because that means we all have the same objective. We want the truth about what happened to Nolan Wells, and it is urgent. It is urgent because each day that goes by, you worry, will we ever get to the truth?
It's crazy how the black community banned with a Filipino woman, guys. Filipino. And they labeled her black now. That's crazy, man. And in the black community, you have a lot of black mothers. You guys lose your sons to black on black crime. And you don't get that support. That's how stupid you are. Think about how many black folk is banning with this grifting family. When you had sons that you lost due to black violence, Ben Crump didn't come out for you. Nobody supported a GoFundMe raising over $1 million for your family. You never got no support. The black community didn't even support you. Nobody supported you. And yet, you over here banding with a family you don't even know. And they got rich. And they still greedy for more money. Nolan is underground and they still greedy. They still greedy. They want more money. They got that GoFundMe up there. They like, look, man, we want more money. We want money. They already raised $852,000, man. Now they want $950,000. Why? Nolan is gone and they still hustling, fam. This is the new hustle. Anytime you have a son or daughter that die, start a GoFundMe to get rich. That's the hustle now.
And so that's why we want to thank CBC for calling on the federal authorities and anybody else who has resources to help this family get to the truth of what happened to their son. I know I was talking to Kristen Clark and she said, no, let's make sure that all taxpayers' money that goes to support federal resources apply to our children too. I mean, let's say that nobody should say, oh, it doesn't matter that much because it's a black child. No, it matters. All of our children matter. And so we are going to continue every day to say his name, Attorney Hertz, Attorney Park, Attorney Smith, trying to work with the local district attorney.
Do you see how Mr. Wonsley in the background looked like he on drugs? Are y'all seeing that, guys? Do you see Christine, how she's acting like she's all emotional? Like, think about this, guys. When she's on her TikTok, she's calling y'all boo bears. Hello, my boo bears. But when she's doing these press conferences, she's always putting on the theatrics. She does this all the time.
Give them what they need to do a thorough, fair, full, impartial investigation. That's what we're asking for. Everything else is just a distraction because...
And keep in mind, guys, Mr. Wonsley is Nolan's stepdad. He's not his biological father. You guys got to wipe that mess out of your mind. He is a stepdad. Stepdad. You know, like a lot of you guys that you get with a single mom and you really don't even care about them kids. You really want to hit it, but you end up being with her and end up taking on kids that are not yours, and then you get treated like garbage anyway. Yeah, you guys, right? He's one of those guys that jump in to be a stepdad. That's what he did. So stop calling him his dad, because he's not. That is the stepdaddy. And I'm not saying you can't be a stepdaddy or you're just a bad guy. At the same time, it is never a good idea for a man to be a stepdaddy. Never. If you choose to do that and it worked out for you, cool. At the same time, that is not the goal of a man. You go get your own kids with your own woman and you do what you got to do. Taking on some other woman's kid is literally a death sentence. It doesn't make no sense. It's not your responsibility. That's like getting with a woman and she have a $30,000, $40,000 school loan and you paying for it. I'm not paying that. Nope. I'm not doing it. Those are not mine. But for some reason, because men want vagina, they don't have a problem getting with a woman that have 2, 3, 4, 5 kids. But yet let it be the other way around, that you're a single dad and you got 4 kids and you get with a woman and you're like, hey, babe, could you be a stepmom to all my kids? She's not going to be no stepmom. Women are not stepping up to no damn plate. She's going to tell you where your baby mama at. Tell her to raise her own damn kids. I'm not doing that. So why you guys are doing that?
Nolan birthday is next Wednesday.
Think about that. Nolan's birthday is next Wednesday, and watch Christine's face. This is all scripted, guys. In order to get her emotional. Look at her face when he said that.
August 19th.
You see that? It's scripted, guys. Say certain words to trigger certain emotions. And it's good for the camera so that people get the visual like, oh my goodness, so heartbreaking. He would have been 19 years old. This is so sad.
It is going to be extremely difficult for his mother, his father, and his family.
You see?
Because
see the theatrics? You see all it's all, this is cinematography, guys. This is cinematography in your face right here, fam. They're acting.
August 19th will be like no other that they've ever had for the last 19 years.
Guys, she's acting like she's crying, guys. She's acting.
I mean, it's a milestone when your child gets to be 18.
And notice Mr. Wonsley. He's still on drugs in the background, looking like a doof. Look at him.
So you try to breathe a little easier, Reverend. Now you say, man, we almost got them there. They're at the cusp.
There is no tears on her face, guys. None. No tears.
Of being an adult, cusp of manhood. And you heard how Elmore was working so hard.
Somebody gonna pass her tissue. Watch this.
And Nolan, his football career. I mean, he had
There is no tears on her face, fam. None. This is for the camera. She's doing this for the cameras, guys.
Good start, but this was really gonna be his year. I mean, so much hope, so much promise. And then July 4th came. And 4th of July will never be the same to Christine and Elmore. And on the 19th, next Wednesday, his family, we're all asking for prayer.
And notice this, guys. Why is it that every time they do these type of press conferences, Christine does the same thing, but you don't see nothing with Mr. Wonsley? You don't see him shedding no tears. You don't see him acting emotional like her, nothing. He just sits there. He don't even care. He's just doing his part, playing dumb with his eyes closed, looking down, looking dumb. And she's the one who does all of the bad acting, and people buy it.
Nolan, I know there's going to be a prayer visual in Ocean Springs. I know Reverend Al is going to work to make sure we're all praying all across the nation. But, y'all, let's pray. Can we pray together?
Pray for what? What are we praying for? Because God ain't hearing none of them prayers. Let's just call it what it is. I'm tired of all the religious garbage. Everybody talking about prayer, but yet nobody have been charged with Nolan's death. There has been no arrest. So what exactly are you praying for? What exactly are you praying for? Could anybody explain that to me? Because they already got rich. They already got the money. They got a free funeral, free autopsy, all this publicity. All her social medias are popping. Her TikTok grew. Her Instagram grew. She's growing her YouTube channel. She's most likely going to get sponsorship deals. She's doing content, getting hundreds of thousands of views. So she's monetized. She's earning money now through social media on the back end. Guys, Nolan has become a product, a business, a brand. She don't care about her son, fam. The longer this story goes, the more money she makes.
In unity to say, let's get to the truth of what happened to Nolan Wells. Can we do that, America? Can we at least come together in unity on his birthday? Everybody who claimed to ever be a friend of his, can we come together in unity and pray for the truth and try to have love in our hearts for this family?
And here's the thing, for you guys out there that get with women that got kids, I've had many older videos on my platform where I gave guys the game. If you're dealing with a woman, fam, and she got kids, first thing you need to establish is this, is that the baby daddy is actively involved in his child's life. In other words, if you kicking it with shorty, the baby daddy better be involved in his child's life, because I ain't doing shit. Straight up. You know what I mean? I'm not doing nothing. Nope. It's not my child. Now, I get it. You kicking it with her. There might be a few things you do, you know what I mean? Get some McDonald's. You get the kids some McDonald's, some burgers, whatever, woo, woo. But the major supply, the major things, nah, that boy's daddy better be there for his son. You know? I don't mind doing minor things, because if you with a woman and you in a full-blown relationship, then you're going to see her kids, right? But when you take on the whole role, you're dumb. So as a man, you need to establish that the baby daddy need to be there, and you need to have that conversation with the baby daddy. Real man-to-man talk, real shit. Where you and bruh man, y'all had that conversation, have a beer, but like, look, bro, I'm with your ex, your old lady. It is what it is. But I ain't gonna have her acting crazy where you can't see your kids and no, you gonna have access to your kids, but you need to make sure that you there, bro. Ain't gonna be none of that mess where I'm stuck with your responsibilities. We ain't gonna have that, you know. And I tell these ladies, stop throwing these men on child support and learn how to work out deals where bruh man is taking care of his kids financially without the courts, you know? Because once you throw the courts in, you start having bad blood. It's just become bad for the kids. Y'all got to stop your bull crap and recognize that these kids need both parents. So even if you got a new man, you got to make sure that you got that relationship open with the baby daddy and be respectful. Stop using them damn kids against the man and have that open relationship where y'all could communicate for the kids. If he's doing his damn job, make sure you respect that man and make sure he got access to his kids so he could do his job. And if you are the dude that used to be with Shorty, you stay out of her new relationship with her new man. Don't be trying to pull up, doing stupid-ish, trying to cause a disturbance because you're not with her no more. Learn to have boundaries and respect. It's about the kids. You already had y'all relationship and it's fucked up now. But you gotta have some sort of communication where we could deal with these kids. You know what I mean? And keep the courts and keep all these damn outsiders out of our business. Because once you have everybody in your business, you messing up. You know? Because when these kids grow up, they're gonna hate both of y'all. Your child gonna hate you for keeping their daddy away, and the child gonna hate the dad for whatever reason because he ain't like you. So we gotta do right. And if you're the dude that's the new dude in the picture, it is what it is. You do what you gotta do, but don't be a sucker. Don't have some woman making you feel in order for you to get some cooch that you gotta foot the bill of these damn kids that are not yours. You make sure you lay down the law and you let her know these are not my damn kids. Do you understand that? And it is what it is. If she don't want to ride with you, you go about your business. But just because she effed up her life doesn't mean you come in to fix all the damage and be the cleanup guy just to get some cooch. Forget that damn cooch. I don't need that cooch. If it's gonna cost me 18 years of misery, I don't need that damn cooch. Let's get back to the content. Let's go.
For this broken-hearted mother and father, his sisters and brothers, can we try to give them grace and give them love and pray for their humanity, for their son who was lost on 4th of July and is never coming back? Is that so much to ask? Let's have a National Day of Prayer on August 19th.
A National Day of Prayer? Prayer for what, guys? What are you praying for? A National Day of Prayer. For what? This doesn't make no sense, man. This lady here acting like she's crying. She's not crying, guys. Why would you be wiping away your tears? You would want your tears to flow so the camera could see it. The problem is she's not crying. She's not crying, guys.
Next Wednesday for Nolan Wells. And at this time, we hear from his mother and father, then Eric, and us will try to answer your questions.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for having us, for platforming our son's story. As many of you know, his 19th birthday is next Wednesday.
Do you see the theatrics? His 19th birthday is next Wednesday. Notice the goofy in the background, Mr. Wonsley. No emotion, no nothing. How come he ain't wiping away tears? So she's the only one that acts like she's crying? So Mr. Wonsley have no damn feelings at all for his so-called stepson.
And it's, as the days gets closer, and it's definitely getting harder, that realization is really sinking in. That we don't have our son physically here anymore.
Guys, there's no tears on her face. There's no tears, guys. Mr. Wonsley is still asleep, still same position. She's acting, guys. You know what's so sad about society is that society is so dumbed down. You guys don't have no reasoning skills, no discernment. You can't even tell when someone's fake. That's why y'all always getting played. I could look right through this and see the act. Everybody's acting up there, playing their part.
And I think a lot of people have forgotten. Only thing we want to know is what happened.
He drowned. That's what happened. Accept it. He drowned. Freak accident. It's over. Stop blaming white people. How about that? How about that? How about you just accept the fact that Nolan was out there doing something dumb and he died? Just that simple. Stop blaming people. Stop blaming white people. Why are you blaming white people? What if a black person did something to Nolan? And you're busy blaming white people. Just like that so-called a black woman, whatever the case is, was found in Mississippi. Yeah, I know the story of a black woman found behind an abandoned house. And all of the black YouTubers came online talking about sundown towns and a white person did it, the Klan members. And it come to find out the abandoned house is in a predominantly black community that have a lot of violence and crime. But yet they wanted you to believe that some white folk drove in the black community with guns, gangs, and violence and decide to hang a black woman on a tree. That's what they want you to believe because it's in Mississippi. That's not going to fly with us. And if you notice, all the black content creators have pulled away from the story. They're not going wild with that story. You know why? Because they found out she was hanged in a predominantly black community, which means somebody, most likely black, did this to her or she did this to herself. You understand? And there's a lot of other information that's coming out. I'm not going to really speculate on that because I have to look a little deeper into the case, and I could probably talk about that in an updated video. But let's get back to the content. Let's go.
That's all we want to know is what happened to our son.
He was on a boat. He was drinking. He drowned. Case closed. Because you keep asking, we want to know what happened to our son. How you going to find that out? You're blaming somebody, so you're never going to find out. Come to peace with that. Let's go.
Because many parents out there, you still have your children. You still can hug them.
Well, because our children are not out at sea drinking. That's why.
You still can call them. You still can celebrate their life with them. And we do not have that anymore.
Well, that's not our fault. That's your fault. There was an old commercial that used to come on back in the day when I was a kid. It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? Y'all remember that commercial? Put a 1 in the chat if you remember that. We used to hear that commercial all the time back in the day. Today, people don't even know where their kids are at. So how come you didn't know where Nolan was at? How come? See, she's trying to guilt trip the public as if though because we still got our kids that we're supposed to feel sorry for her. I don't feel sorry for her at all. You can say whatever you want to say about me. I don't care. But I'm not going to feel sorry for somebody that's exploiting their son's death for money when it was a freak accident. And where is the autopsy? Where's the official toxicology results? Where is it? How come they're not giving us the results, guys? Think about that. Think about that, guys. It's August 14th and we still don't got the results. Where's the results? Where is the results? So we could put this case to rest. Where's the results? Why are they holding it back? It's already completed. So what are they waiting for? They don't want to shock the world, guys. That's what it is.
Our lives have forever changed.
No, it didn't. Not for the negative. It changed for the better because you got $850,000. So your life changed for the better. You're able to get a house. You're able to pay off your debts. You're able to pay off school loans. Think about it. You're in the medical field. So that money is going to pay off all of those school loans and all of that other stuff you got. Am I right, Christine? Because we know you didn't pay off all those school loans. See, y'all forgot about that. If she's in the medical field, she never paid off all those school debts. But now that she got that money, she's able to pay everything off. So she's living good right now.
This new normal is something I would never wish on anyone, not even my worst enemy. The hurt that we feel daily, the conversations that we have to have, not just with each other, but also with our other children as they are grieving as well. So we ask that everyone, please, next Wednesday, join us in prayer.
She's acting this way for these cameras, man. It's disgusting, man. Absolutely disgusting. And you see Mr. Wonsley there, he shows no signs. His head been in that position the whole time.
As for us as a family, but also too for everyone out there, but especially for Nolan and the process that we're going through. And again, we thank you so much.
First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who's constantly keeping our son's story in the forefront. You don't know how much we really appreciate that.
Now, he said that we thank those who keep our son's story in the forefront. Who he's talking about, gang? He's talking about the black influencers, the grifters, the liars, the manipulators. That's who he's talking about. He's talking about those guys in the background surrounding Tatum. Those are the ones that are lying. They're keeping the story alive because they've been lying to the public the whole time, making a bunch of money. These are the grifters. Anytime there's a black issue, whatever, with whites, you can count on the grifters to come on social media and lie every day in order to get that money because they know black people are stupid. So, hey, they're going to have all the views. It's not because they're good content creators, guys. It's because their viewers are stupid. It's just that simple. It's not that, look, guys, there's not a lot of intelligent viewers on social media. Most people are stupid. That's why they gravitate towards stupid content where people lie. Right now on YouTube, the black grifters are saying that Nolan was lynched, that he was lynched on Horn Island. Then you have others saying that Nolan was jumped by a group of white guys and choked out. Then they said that Bart choked and beat up Nolan and killed him because Nolan was dating a white girl. Then they compared Nolan to Emmett Till. These people are full of shit. They're lying every single day for clicks and views. Then you got that crazy woman, Jeanette, talking about she enhancing audio and she's hearing voices. Should we cover it up? Nolan! I hope you get sued, woman, because you're the biggest liar. You're the one who published all that garbage and had the internet blaming Bart, talking about Bart killed Nolan. It was because of her, gang. And then to add insult to injury, this woman went on Willie D Live. Let me get the clip. Let me go look it up, man. Give me a minute, fam. Let me go look this up, bro. Nah, fam, we got to get that clip. Let me look this thing up, man. Oh, man, where is this clip, bro? Give me a minute. I'm going to find it just now. I got to make a folder with all these clips, man, for real. Where is it? Let me find this thing, man. I'm going to find a clip with Willie D Live and Jeanette. Trying to find that. I don't see it. Where is it? Where is it, guys? Oh, I'm getting close. Getting close. Because I made it a couple of days back. Okay, I got the Cito call. Is this it? Yeah, here we go, guys. Here we go, gang. Let me get this into the video because I need for you to see this stuff.
You wouldn't put yourself out there like that. You know, like you said.
Hold on. Let me sort this out first. Give me a minute, guys. All righty. Let me get the volume. And we're going to play this. Now, I hope that Willie D and this woman get sued because if this is not evidence of defamation of character, I don't know what else to tell you. Right? But let me see. Let me get this going here. Where is it? Where is it? Okay.
The FBI don't.
All right, let me rewind that back. Now listen to this, guys. This is Willie D Live. He was interviewing the woman named Jeanette, who altered the audio, added text to it, claiming that she heard a bunch of voices alleging that Nolan was murdered on the boat. And because of her audio, She blamed Warren. She blamed all the kids that was on the boat, including Bart, of Nolan's death, claiming that he was murdered. Watch Willie D live publicly claim that one of them on that boat murdered Nolan Wells. You're going to hear it from his own mouth. Let me get the volume and raise it up so that you guys can hear him say it, because this is definitely defamation. Let's go.
You wouldn't put yourself out there like that. You know, like you said, the FBI don't have to call you because they got the same tools or even better than you have, you know, in audio enhancement tools. So if it's there, they're going to find it. And I'm sure if they're interested in hearing the cleanup version, if they're interested in it, I'm sure that they already know what it says. They know, right? Mm-hmm. And it's no way possible that you can have that audio like that and not be making an arrest. And yeah, I said it. I ain't scared of you, motherfucker. I ain't scared of you at all. Yeah, I said it. Ain't no way possible you got that kind of information. At the very least, everybody on that boat got to be investigated. At the very least. One of y'all killed him. I don't know which one, but one of y'all killed him.
You heard him. Willie D Live said that one of those kids on the boat killed Nolan Wells. This is a clear-cut case of defamation of character. If Willie D Live don't get sued, then the game is rigged, and that means that certain people have been excluded from the lawsuit. Let's go.
That's right. I said it. One of y'all killed him.
On everything. That's exactly why I did it. Like,
notice Jeanette. Jeanette says exactly that's why I did it. So Jeanette is also agreeing with Willie D Live that either Warren, Bart, somebody on that boat killed Nolan Wells. These two people better be on that lawsuit. Listen to this again. Listen.
I said it. One of y'all killed him.
On everything. That's exactly why I did it. Like,
she said on everything. So she agrees. She agrees that one of them boys on the boat killed Nolan Wells. So I fully expect to see Willie D Live and Jeanette getting sued. If these two are not getting sued, then the lawyer for them boys is full of shit. And that means that he's targeting specific key players rather than the big fish. Rather than the big fish.
Which one? But one of y'all killed him. And because it's more than one voice being heard, it's more than one person that's an accessory to that murder.
Do you see that? So Willie D accused everybody on that boat of killing Nolan Wells with no facts, nothing. He's basing it off the audio that Jeanette put out there that had text on the screen. Let's go.
And so that's why people are talking. That's why people are asking questions. That's why people are pointing fingers. If you don't want them to point the finger at you, then tell what you know. Come clean.
Come clean. So you're accusing these young men of killing Nolan Wells with no facts? And you did this on your platform? That's why I downloaded that video. Because it might be this very video of Willie D Live. I mean, all his videos are lies. All his videos can be used in a defamation suit. But this is the icing on the cake because he interviewed the very woman that started this mess. So this will be played in a courtroom. I guarantee you guys, this clip is incriminating. There's no escaping this. You would have to pay those boys because of what you said. Because it's your words that's causing them harm. And Jeanette, you going down. Because I told you from day one, I said, you altering that audio is tampering with evidence. You literally tried to paint a picture that these young boys pretty much murdered Nolan Wells. And you did it because they're white. If they were black, you would have never waste time enhancing any audio. You really didn't enhance anything. You know, I already did videos breaking down the audio already. Let's go.
And any of y'all out there listening to me, all you lawyers out there that's representing the boys, right? If you're representing, then you better go get your client. I know it's Mississippi and y'all thinking y'all gonna get away with whatever you did if you're really in the wrong, you think you're gonna get away. But let's say God show up.
Why is this idiot saying, are you working for the lawyer? Fuck that lawyer that's representing the boys. I don't care about him either. See, I say things straight. I'm not on nobody's side. I'm my own man, fam. I speak for myself. I'm on the side of the truth. I'm not on nobody's side because everybody's hustling. Let me pull up a receipt so I can show y'all the receipts that is going on with these boys, because y'all think I'm playing when it comes to this content. I'm not playing with nobody, fam. I'm showing y'all real talk, bringing out facts, right? Let me see if I could do this real quick. Let me get this thing out there. Let me see. Where is this thing? Let me go get these receipts. Because everybody's hustling at this point. Everybody trying to get paid. Right? So let's put this on the screen. We got this. Boom. And we got this. Boom. Now notice, this is the woman, Jeanette. She set up a give, send, go. Look what she got. She raised $13,000. She most likely got more now. Her goal is $50,000. She's claiming that you need to support my family because we're being threatened and hated. Bro, that's not no reason to be supporting you. You out here spreading lies, right? So we got that. Then you got the boys. They got their give, send, go. Everybody trying to get rich. Their goal is $200,000. They already raised $171. Most likely got more, right? So everybody's trying to get rich, fam. Everybody. So it's not just Nolan's family that are grifters. Everybody trying to get paper off this kid's death. You understand? And it's sick. But this is what's going on, fam. Let's go. Let's get back to the content. Where is it? Okay, let's go.
Held accountable. You want to make sure your client gets the best deal possible. So you need to go talk to your client and say, come on, man, shit, they ain't buying it, man. They ain't buying it. They figured it out. Come on, let's get a deal. Let's try to get a deal. Get your client a deal right now. Y'all know whoever go to the authorities first and tell what they know going to get the best deal.
Best deal? Willie D, do you realize you just said whoever go to the authorities first get the best deal? Aren't you the same guy that was running scams back in the day and you got arrested and the feds basically brought you in and you did 1 year in prison in 1 day on, I believe it was wire fraud? Weren't you guilty of that? I already aired that out in multiple videos. So you're a scammer, in my opinion. I would never trust you, right? And the reason why you only got 1 year is because you went and you snitched and told the feds about who's the ringleaders in the operation. That's why you only got 1 year. That's a federal crime. You were supposed to get 20 years, tops, 20 to 30 years. But they gave you 1 because you made a deal with the devil. So you know about all of this stuff in terms of going to the cops and getting a good deal. So I'm not buying none of the stuff you saying. You a damn criminal in my opinion. Let's go.
You get to control the narrative. You don't want to be sitting, laying up in the house, sleep or whatever, and they come knock on the door. Or you don't want to be out there on the boat again, and they come out there, sir, come with us. You don't want that to happen. Right now, you got control of how it go down. Go in there, walk on in there right now, and say, okay, let me tell you, I'm gonna come clean. This been messing with my conscience. I've done a lot of stuff, but I thought I'd be able to get away with this murder, but it ain't gonna work. So I'm telling you what I know. I'm just saying.
Willie D is a snitch, y'all. These are true facts. No cap. Watch, let me bring it up, fam. I do this all the time, man. I always bring up his rap sheet. Willie D, criminal history. Let's see what we got, gang. Let's see. Here we go. Let's bring this up on the screen, gang. Let's do this. Not only was he a scammer? He was trying to get into politics and was basically denied, guys. Like literally, he was trying to get into politics and was denied. Let me see if I can bring this up. There's more to it, gang, but I'm not going to go into all of that detail. But let's put this up. Okay. Williams James Dennis, better known as Willie D of the Ghetto Boys, has one notable federal criminal conviction. In 2010, he was sentenced to 12 months and 1 day in federal prison for wire fraud stemming from an electronics and iPhone scam operated through a front company called Texas One Wireless. This is Willie D Live, guys. Wire fraud conviction and case details. Arrest and indictment. Willie D was arrested by the FBI on May 13th, 2009, upon returning to Houston's Bush Intercontinental Airport from an overseas trip, and was formally indicted on 15 counts, guys, of wire fraud in June 2009. The scheme operating through Texas One Wireless, he posed as an electronics salesman on eBay to build international credibility. He directed buyers to conduct transactions via email and direct bank wires transfers. The fraud prosecutors established that he took payments from roughly 35 victims, buyers totaling nearly $194,000 for bulk orders of Apple iPhones, sent fake tracking numbers for merchandise that was never shipped, and then ceased communication. Guilty plea and sentencing. In December 2009, Willie D pleaded guilty to wire fraud. In November 10th, a federal judge sentenced him to a year and a day in federal prison, followed by 3 years supervised release alongside an order to pay $194,000 in restitution. Now, I want you to understand this, guys, that basically he made a deal with the feds. And watch this, political disqualification. In 2019, Willie D attempted to run for the Harris County Commissioner's Court in Texas. Local Democratic Party officials rejected his ballot application, citing his 2010 felony wire fraud conviction under a state law that bars individuals with unpardonable felony disabilities from running for public office. So this damn grifter tried to run for office, right? He tried to run for office, but was disqualified because they brought back up his history as a damn criminal. Think about that, gang. Guy's a joke.
Jeanette, I don't know that's how they'll say it, but it should go something like that. That's all I'm saying.
Something.
Something like that.
That's all I'm going to show on this. Let me get back to the so-called press conference. I just wanted you to know the history of Willie D. And think about it. If Willie D had that criminal past, just imagine everybody in his background, fam. Just imagine the type of lives these people live and the type of things they've done. And now they're on YouTube grifting, trying to make money off the black community by spreading more lies. And now you got this grifting family here acting like they crying. Make it make sense, gang. She's acting like her heart broken. Stop it.
Brought light to our family. He was the fun in it. And with his birthday coming up.
Why is it that Mr. Wonsley act like is he slow? Is something wrong with him? Because he do this in every press conference. It's like he's slow, like very, very slow. And he can't articulate himself at all.
Like my wife said, we have to deal with a new normal. Who knows what these years are going to bring?
There's no tears coming down her face, but she keep wiping.
These years, on August 19th, is going to bring a lot of hurt, some laughter as we think about memories. But as far as our family, a very big piece will no longer be there. we just want the truth. We just want to know what any other parent would want to know. We're asking the questions any parent would ask. And if you feel that something's wrong with that, then that's a problem that you have to deal with. But as far as us and our family, we're just asking for truth, transparency, and to please keep us in your prayers. Next week is going to be a hard week, and the years follow are going to be hard. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Christian Elmore, it never gets easy, Reverend Al. And they're asking, I know Reverend Jamal Bryant is coming to Ocean Springs. Anybody who can come to Ocean Springs to be at the prayer visual with them on Wednesday evening at 7 p.m., please come. And if you can't come, please have prayer visuals in your city and your communities. We need to find out what happened. Attorney Hurts, Attorney Parks, and Reverend Allen, as we're trying to answer your questions. The family, obviously, motion, they'll try to answer questions if they can. Any questions?
Hello, my name is Logan John, NABJ.
Yeah, give us where you're calling,
NABJ News.
Okay.
What do you believe accountability and justice for Nolan Walls should look like?
It's very simple. As we always say, if it was your child, what will accountability and justice look like? Well, that's the same thing they want for their child. Whatever it would be for your child, that's the same thing they want. Whatever investigation you would do for your child, that's the same investigation they want. We not.
Chat is on members only. So those of you that wanted to participate, when you have trolls, this is why I keep my channel on members only, guys, because I try to keep it open for subscribers so that you guys can come in and voice your thoughts. And yet you have trolls that just keep coming in here, posting a bunch of garbage, ruining it for everybody. So make it very simple. Join the channel membership, pay the fee, and you will be able to enjoy the platform without the damn trolls. It's just that simple. You got content creators going around saying that I charge people to comment in my live chat. First of all, YouTube is a business, right? YouTube have member-only live chats. And if you support the content creator, what is the problem? You know, it's a privilege to be able to be in the live chat. It's just like it's a privilege to have a driver's license. It's just that simple. If you don't want to follow the law while driving, they'll take your driving privileges away, right? Okay, so we understand how the world works. You don't have a right to just be there. I'm giving you the opportunity to be there. But because people keep ruining it for everybody, I'm going to keep it on members only. Just that simple. Because it's better that way where people can have conversations without all the bullshit in there. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Shout out to Jens for the membership. Appreciate you joining. Let's get back to the content, guys. Let's get back to the content. Let's go.
Ask for anything special. We just want equal justice for our children too.
And I think that we must be very much emphasizing is they have said, again here with the press conferences and statements they've made throughout, when they started at our headquarters in Harlem speaking to the press, they're not trying to come to a conclusion.
Yes, they are trying to come to a conclusion because they blame white people. They don't know what happened to Nolan. Where is the autopsy, the official one, the official toxicology results? Where is it? You understand? They already came to conclusions. They are blaming Mississippi. They're blaming white people. Notice they didn't blame black people. Black people live in Mississippi too. So what's the issue here? They hired a civil rights attorney, civil rights leaders. Come on, man. They made it a full-blown race issue. And they making money off of it too.
The other side did, saying that there was no foul play. They're trying to tell us what happened. And we're going to stand with them on that, and as well as other cases around the country. Yes, sir.
I'm Ezekiel Telemarker with ABC 24. There's been a lot of misinformation and rumors spreading on social media. Is there anything that you guys would like to debunk that you've seen?
Notice they just asked, there's a lot of misinformation being posted on social media. Would you guys like to say anything about that? Let's hear what they say.
Let me just say this. I went real.
Well, I mean, I think that social media has distorted a lot. I think for myself and Ben, we're public figures that you're gonna have social media lie on us every day. I don't even know if I'm really here according to social media. But what hurts us is the distortions they've done on the family, where they've harassed her in her job.
Well, we didn't do that here at Ringo TV. We never talked about trying to destroy her and her job. We never did that. She's doing that to herself by making it a race issue. And there are people out there that may have contacted her job, filled out things, gave her a bad review. That's what other people did. That has nothing to do with us. I know me personally, I wouldn't, if I was white, I would not want to go to Christine for anything in regards to anything medical at all. Because I don't know how she feel about white people to the point where she would want to take out her frustrations and basically give me bad service. So a person that's white should be concerned. You should be concerned. If somebody is in the medical field, that's like somebody's in the restaurant business, catering with food and all of that stuff, and they got a serious issue with white people, and you go into the restaurant to get something to eat. I'm not eating nothing from that restaurant because I don't know what you're going to do to my food. You get what I'm saying? Because once you make it a race issue, I'm concerned for my own safety at this point because I don't know what you're planning on doing. And there's a lot of people that do stuff, spitting in your food, tampering with food, and next minute you get sick. So it's a bad idea to make things a race issue. It would have been better for them to just, hey, let's investigate the case, find out what happened to Nolan. Let's not rush to judgment. Let's not go out here blaming people, because once you do that, you're going to have a bunch of bad blood, man. A bunch of bad blood. And that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing right now.
And sent stuff to their house. It started with the father's question. They didn't ask to be public figures.
Public figures? So now Nolan's mom is a public figure now? What are you talking about? They didn't ask to be public figures. When did they become public figures? See, they label them these titles, public figures. How? They ain't speaking for the public. They're not content creators. What public figures are they? This is another group of parents. What public figures? No, that's what they want to be. I wouldn't be surprised if Nolan's mom joined some black organization and now y'all electing her for office. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a campaign in motion right now.
They only are trying to get justice for their son. So I would just say whatever social media people...
Just because somebody died does not mean that somebody needs to get justice, because we don't know how he died. I'm tired of everybody making everything a race issue, bro. I am tired of that, bro. We in 2026, bro. And we still got all this race mess coming out, bro. Like, come on, man. It's bad enough. We're nervous when around each other. You got a lot of people, bro, they nervous, bro. You got people that be uncomfortable when they're around each other because of all the racial tension. We don't know how people are thinking in their mind. It's not like that no more, bro. You might still got hate in the world. Yeah, you're going to always have hate. But to have this mindset where it's like, oh no, if I'm black, I got to be worried about white people all day. And, they're racist and the racists are coming. Bro, that's a sickness, man. That is a sickness. When I was on a 9-to-5, I keep telling you guys, I worked around all different kinds of people, bro. And we did not think like that, fam. We did not think like that, man. Not at all, bro. We just did our job and kept it moving because we understood we're all different. We see a white guy come in, it is what it is. Italian guys, this guy, the Arab guy. We had all different types of people, and we respect people. And we made a decision. When we're in the workplace, let's not bring up religion and let's not bring up politics. These are the things we kept away. Politics, religion, and sexuality. We didn't bring up none of that mess in the workplace. Because why? It'll start a war. And we just kept away from that stuff. I remember certain coworkers try to bring up these conversations, and I was like, yo, bro. Nah, fam, we don't do that here, man. And I had to let them know, pull people to the side. Bro, let's not do that, fam. We trying to keep the peace. We're trying to just do our job, go home. Because we saw what that did, bro. It became an ugly place. It wasn't always perfect at the 9 to 5. I ain't gonna act like everything was perfect. Nah, it wasn't. In the beginning time, it wasn't perfect. No, we had issues. But we started to think. I started to talk to supervisors. Supervisors started to ask us questions like, how could we make the place more, because it was a hostile environment, bro. People were acting weird. And I said, you know what? We got to get rid of talks of religion. Not saying that you can't worship and have your beliefs. My point is everybody have their own belief system. And once you start bringing that into the workplace, you're going to have a fight. People get violent over stuff like this. You start talking politics, people are like, oh, you voted for him? What? Who you voted for? Well, I voted for so-and-so. Why? Bro, you not black. How you gonna vote for them, bro? They don't support. Now y'all fighting. Fam. It don't make no sense at all. Absolutely no sense. Let's go.
We're trying to get likes and hits and all. Do that against people like me that offered ourselves. They didn't ask for this. All they want is what happened to their son.
And I'll simply say this because that question has come up, and I released a statement, and I want to be clear about it. We defend the First Amendment rights.
Turk, whatever says, I'm on a free trial too. I don't know what you think you're on a free trial. You're on a block list. Get the fuck out of here. Like, what are you talking about? Free trial, this and that. You think when you come here, you're on a free trial? You're on a block list. Free trial these nuts. Let's go.
Of content creators reporting on Nolan Wells' case. We stand with content creators.
Notice he said we stand with content creators. What content creator he's standing with, guys? Because all these content creators are all lying. They're lying, guys. So what are you talking about? You stand with content creators because these guys are not telling the truth. So who is he standing with? I'm the only one on YouTube that's speaking the truth. The only one. Let's go.
Independent journalists and citizens who are responsibly reporting on the Nolan Wells case.
There's only probably a few people that are being responsible speaking on the case. And we don't trust you, Ben Crump. We know you're an ambulance chaser and a racist. You don't like white people. And that tie don't go with that suit. Same thing with you, Al. So we're not buying nothing. So it's interesting that you saying this stuff because the so-called black content creators that's rocking with you guys, they're just hustling just like you guys.
And asking legitimate questions in pursuit of truth and accountability. The First Amendment protects robust public discussion on matters of public concern.
Some people think that they could just become a channel member and still come in here with their bull crap. Fam, at the end of the day, I'm still the damn landlord. I'm still the landlord. If you come in here with disrespect and you're disrupting the live chat, I'm blocking you. It's just that simple. Doesn't matter if you paid a fee to come in. You know what I mean? No trial. None of that stuff is going to keep you here. If I see you acting a fool, disrespecting people, you're out of here. Just that simple. See, this is why, guys, in the so-called black community, we have so much problems. Where you have drugs, you have gangs, you have all of this stuff, because the black men in the black community are weak. They don't do nothing about it. See? In other communities, they don't tolerate that stuff. If you go to a predominantly white community and you're a black family and you're selling drugs out of a house, guys, the community, especially if it's an HOA community, you're done. But if it's just a regular community, predominantly white folk, you will be out of that community. They will report you. There is no way you will be able to survive and live there if you're selling drugs and there's gang activity. They're not going to tolerate that because they don't want that mess around their kids. It doesn't mean they racist. It means that they don't want to deal with the bull crap. They want their kids to be able to go outside, play, and be a child. They don't want to deal with all of that mess. But you would call them racist. No, that doesn't make anybody racist. I don't like that filth. I want my kids to be able to go outside and play, and they don't have to worry about drugs and gangs. It's called being a civilized human being. So when you're in a predominantly black community and there's gang violence and drugs and all sorts of stuff and nobody's solving these problems, it's because the men in that community are not men. They're tolerating it. They're not leading. They're not standing on business. When you have real black men that are handling their business, there won't be no gangs in the black community. There won't be no guns, no drugs, no nothing, because you guys would lay the law. Pretty much that simple, guys. Let's get to the content. Let's go.
And those protections are not reserved just for traditional media. We are deeply concerned when cease and desist letters, threatened lawsuits, or other legal pressure become tools to intimidate or silence lawful scrutiny. There is an important difference between knowingly spreading false information and asking.
Hold on, guys. Give me a minute. I think the video ended. Give me a minute. Where is it? Hold on. Oh, yeah, it did end. It did end, guys. Give me a minute. Oh, I switched it by mistake. That's what happened. I switched it by mistake. My bad. Let me see.
Well, they've harassed her in her job and sent stuff to their house. It started with the father's question. They didn't ask to be public figures. They only are trying to get justice for their son. So I would just say, whatever social media people are trying to get likes and hits and all, do that against people like me that offered ourselves public. They didn't ask for this. All they want is what happened to their son.
And I'll simply say this, because that question has come up, and I released a statement, and I want to be clear about it. We defend the First Amendment rights of content creators reporting on Nolan Wells' case. We stand with content creators, independent journalists, and citizens who are responsibly reporting on the Nolan Wells case and asking legitimate questions in pursuit of truth and accountability. The First Amendment protects robust public discussion on matters of public concern, and those protections are not reserved just for traditional media. We are deeply concerned when cease and desist letters, threatened lawsuits, or other legal pressure become tools to intimidate or silence lawful scrutiny. There is an important difference.
Now, you got to think about what exactly is Crump doing at this point when he's talking, right? He's really saying that because he knows that the boys in them are threatening defamation lawsuits. There is a place for defamation. There is a place. But in this case with Nolan Wells, I don't really think that defamation will actually succeed. And my reasoning for that is when you think about defamation, you're thinking about lost wage, possible earnings not, fulfilled, sort of like with the situation between Cardi B. I think it was Cardi B and Tasha K. Well, Cardi B obviously is an artist, a musician, music person. So when you think about that, she's in a business. She has fans, she's making money. And for Tasha to put out information that can hurt her business, it'll cause her to lose money. So when you think about the boys, right? With this case, okay, yeah, you have a lot of misinformation, lies that are being spread, and so on and so forth. And when you think about, okay, what has it affected in terms of business, loss, wage, this, that, all these different things? If there's nothing really there, then you really don't have nothing. These are young men, 18, 19. Like, what exactly are they doing that the information that was published ruined business, wage, jobs, all this other stuff? Like, what actually happened? Did you lose your job because of content creators? Did you, what affected you financially? What did you really lose? You know what I'm saying? So it's going to take a lot. That's why I always say defamation lawsuits is difficult to prove, because there's a lot of key things you got to look into. And I don't think a lot of people really think about that. They just kind of just say, I'm suing you, and think that it's going to work. It just don't work out like that, guys. It's a serious topic that has a lot of levels that you got to go through in order to get the results. That's why when Tatum interviewed them boys, he asked the attorney, do you really think you got a case? Because even the attorney didn't seem sure that he had a case. Let's go. And shout out to Jens75 for the $5 support. Appreciate you sponsoring the show. Let's get back to the content, guys. Hit the like button. Let's go.
Between knowingly spreading false information and asking questions, examining. I want to make sure I get it exactly as we said. Okay. There's an important difference between knowingly spreading false information and asking questions, examining evidence, identifying inconsistencies, expressing opinions, and demanding transparency. Reporting should not be silent. Reporting should not be silenced, and legitimate questions should not be met with intimidation. Those seeking truth and accountability in the Nolan Wells case have every right to continue asking questions and demanding answers, because we are America and we have a right to the First Amendment. That includes black people and all people.
Hi, Denise Clay Murray, Philadelphia Hall Monitor. My question is for Congressmember McBath. Has the formal request for the FBI from the Congressional Black Caucus been delivered to the FBI, and what deadline have you given them for a response?
We've actually we've actually written a letter, a formal letter, and it's already been executed. We've already sent it forth. We are giving them time to respond. We did not give them a specific deadline, but we did say that we are expecting to have an answer as soon as we possibly can.
Attorney Crump, Ryan Young from CNN. Thank you to the family again for standing here and talking to us. There's been a lot about the meeting that you were supposed to have with the DA's office and the cooperation that they were supposed to be giving. Can you update us and tell us whether or not the family has had any contact with the DA's office? Are they talking with you? Have investigators put their arms around you at all?
Attorney Eric Hertz and Attorney Parker, please.
I'm Eric Hertz with law firm Eric J. Hertz PC, and I am heading the independent investigation in this case. I think the first thing, before I get to the exact question, is what's worse than losing a child? Probably nothing. But what makes it horrible is not knowing, and transparency is the key. So with us going into this case as doing an independent investigation, we first thank all the people on stage, all the people that have helped, and we thank you, the media. We have had much communication with the district attorney, and I feel that is confidential. We have cooperated, I can tell you that, and we would just want to cooperate like anyone else would have to cooperate, and we are continuing to do that. It's a duty to our clients.
So just to address that specifically, you may already realize and already know, there was a meeting on July 15th in Mississippi with the DA's office. At that meeting, there were several things discussed about the investigation regarding Nolan Wells and what happened to him. In that meeting, there were several things that were set out and agreed to, and we expect the DA, as well as our own team, to follow those agreements.
Yes, sir.
You would think that with all the money this family made, that they would have good microphones and stuff. Like, why is it that every time at a press conference, the mics and everything sounds like garbage, guys?
And it's Greg Dunmore from Post Speak Media out of Detroit, the ABC sister station TV 20. Evil prevails when good men and women remain silent when the facts come out, and they will come out. If it indicates that something sinister did not happen and it was a freak accident, will you believe that the truth is still not being revealed? Because if the truth is not going to indicate on some level that something sinister was done, will you not believe it to be something else if the truth is
If
that
the-
it was
if the
not?
truth comes out
Yes.
and it's clear, then we will accept the truth. That's all we're asking for. And we only have said that the people that are attacking them.
If it came out, guys, that Nolan died of a freak accident, then this family need to return all that money that they took in. Because people within the Black community are only sending all their money because they believe that it was racially motivated. That's what they want to believe. You understand? If it turned out that Nolan had drugs in his system, that he was full of alcohol, and that he drowned due to possible dehydration as well, various factors, then this family should be investigated and prosecuted for literally starting a race war, a riot. It should be so, because they turned Mississippi upside down. They would owe Mississippi an apology. And they should pay some sort of damages too. Because why? They made this a race issue without hearing the facts. And they blamed everybody. You see? Now, could there be a cover up? Could there be a possibility of information that's being withheld from Nolan's friends? There's a possibility. I just can't accuse his friends of murder because there are no facts. There are no facts. So nobody can't publicly say, yeah, Nolan's friends killed them. I don't believe that Nolan's friends killed them. Even though I don't have hard facts that they didn't kill them, I just don't see his friends killing them. I don't see that. Why? Because when you look at the facts, these were his buddies that he hanged around with all the time. So why would they do that? Just because they're white doesn't mean they're killers. Now, what can happen is that a freak accident could have happened that may have involved the buddies. Meaning, let's say they were doing something on the boat or drinking and possibly using some sort of drugs, probably smoking, trying something out, and just having a good time, getting high. If all of the friends were engaging in this and Nolan overdosed, that can make the friends panic and try to cover it up. I don't know if that's what happened. At the same time, you got to ask these questions because you never know. You see what I'm saying? But do I believe that somebody from Nolan's friend group, his circle, decided they weren't going to kill him? No, I don't believe that. I just don't believe that happened. I believe that there was an accident and maybe nobody seen the accident. You know, maybe the friends were not there. Maybe while Nolan was on the island, he probably took some drugs from somebody. Maybe somebody passed him a blunt, something. And he passed out in the water. And nobody saw when he went under. And then while everybody's leaving, nobody's seen anything. There's so many possibilities of what could have happened. The whole point is, can this family accept that? Can they accept it and apologize when the truth finally come out? Would they apologize to the white community for blaming Mississippi? Look at how social media has been divided because of all of these rage baiters. Think about it, guys. Think about what's going on. And again, I don't agree with Tatum for even putting them boys out there. At first, I thought it was a good look that he's giving them a voice. But then once I started realizing how the interviews are going, I said it's not a good look because you're putting these kids out on Front Street, which is going to make them get criticized by the public. Tatum know that. He should know better as a content creator. When you put these white boys out there, they're going to get crushed by social media. Social media is going to crush these young men because why? They want money and they're going to put out fake stories in order, especially because they're white. So they're going to have fun. So Tatum, if anything, right, should have never had these interviews. And if he did, he could have had it where the boys' faces wasn't even shown, just letting them share their story without revealing who said what and what said what. Why? Because where's their attorney? So it was all sloppy. It was done bad. And he's focused on money. Remember, he's a content creator. He want to make money, big money. And to be the only one interviewing these boys, you stand to make a lot of money. So he wasn't being responsible with what he was doing. He don't interview people. That's not his job. He was thinking for himself. But all these other people in the background, they're all race hustlers. Everybody in that image, guys, have been hustling, lying, spreading false narratives, rumors, gossip in order to make money. So if they get sued for defamation, they deserve it because that's the price you pay when you sell your soul for money. There's nothing wrong with making money on social media. The problem is how you make money. And when you got to lie and manipulate people in order to get a check, that's when it becomes a problem, man. And I don't expect to have thousands of people watching because, again, on social media, there's not a lot of smart people. We're few in number. We're few in number. When it comes to social media, we're few in number. We're not going to have a lot of intelligent people that are viewing. It's only a small group of people because most people on social media are dumb as hell, fam. And I say it straight because I can't sugarcoat this. There's only a few intelligent people that will listen to a case and think clear and be fair too. I didn't open up this case and said, yeah, you know, these whitey people, these racist white people. If I would have started my content by focusing on race, I'll have a ton of views, a ton of support from the black community. But I'm not a racist, so I'm not going to do that. But that is what a lot of black commentators do because that's how you eat. That's how you get money. You got to lie. You got to play the game. That's why Willie D Live can lie every day and get support because black people support lies, just like they did with Carmelo Anthony. Right now, they trying to get Carmelo a bunch of support for some nonsense that's supposed to be coming up. Don't even waste your time, guys. I got to do a video about that. The black community need to let Carmelo sit and rot in prison because he killed Austin Metcalf in cold blood. And just because Austin's white does not mean that we supposed to ban with Carmelo Anthony. He's a murderer. If Carmelo would have killed your kid, you would be pissed. So let the kid stay in prison and do his time. It's just that simple. Nobody told him to bring a knife to a track meet. He did what he did. Time for him to do his time. The sad part is the black community jumped on board and Carmelo's family was grifting too. Y'all gave them over $700,000. They're living good right now. And now y'all did the same thing with Nolan Wells. And it's sick. Stop letting people take advantage of you with these crazy cases. That family should move on and accept that their loved one died by a freak accident, and it is what it is. Stop blaming white people. You don't got no proof. You don't got no evidence. Let's stop dragging this damn story. You know? But Ringo, you talking about it. Well, why are you here watching me? Don't look at me. I'm doing my job as a content creator. This is my job. Remember, I'm at work. So if you don't like it, what are you viewing for? If you don't like hearing about the Nolan Wells story, why are you watching? Obviously, you're invested. What I'm talking about is this family dragging this story, waiting for somebody to give them justice when there's no suspects of a crime. Nobody committed no crime. We don't got no evidence. It's literally going on 2 months. And they still want to drag this situation. It don't make no sense no more.
Raising the question of the truth, say the same thing. I think that we've leaned over backwards in every press event, at the funeral, me doing the eulogy, saying we weren't going to prejudge. Yet they keep getting lambasted. Imagine this. You're losing your child and you're being attacked.
Nobody's attacking nobody. Stop saying that people attacking them. People don't like the fact that they started a racial issue. They turned Mississippi upside down. They accused the boys. They got all these content creators on YouTube that are lying, making a bunch of money, right? And this woman is not even a black woman. She's a full-blown Filipino posing as a black woman. It's disgusting.
For asking what happened. I mean, they're not political figures. Why are they under attack for asking for the truth? So
they're not asking for the truth. They're playing a game. They're playing a game. And the one who's most likely putting the battery in their back to continue playing this game is you, Al Sharpton, and Ben Crump. You guys are the machine behind these two. They're only following what you tell them to do.
Not about us accepting, it's about whether or not those involved can accept. Yeah.
Yes, you know how much Black Wall Street Times.
Well, they always try to shut us all out. We're not be silenced. Yeah, it's on.
Yes, Nehemiah Franklin.
Don't move the mic. Okay.
Try this again. Okay. Yes, Nehemiah Frank with the Black Wall Street Times out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Condolences to you both. My question is for Mr. Wonsley. When you went to Jack's house and he used the past tense and literally said to you, from what you've told us, the media, that the brother, or that he said that Nolan was like a brother a day before the body actually washed up, was that like alarm? Did it send any alarm bells through you at all?
Yes, you said what you said.
You could tell Mr. Wonsley is not a good public speaker. This guy don't appear to be educated at all. He's not smart. And he's making them all look bad. Look at how Christine looking at him. Like, why in the world am I with this man for? He can't even talk. Like, look at him.
So, in a father's shoes, and you just found out that your child is missing. The only thing you want to know is where he is. Trying to go back and think about specific words at that moment, I wasn't thinking about that. My mind and my focus was finding my whereabouts of my son.
See, he can't even answer the question. That's a cop-out. He can't even answer the question, fam.
Hey, Tom Jones, reporter for WSB TV here in Atlanta. I keep hearing about this young lady that Nolan left with. Has anybody managed to find her or talk to her?
I think that what we're trying to carefully do is not impugn the investigation. So a lot of what may and may not have happened in terms of the dialogue with the...
Whether those boys reached out to Tatum or not, you got to understand that this is all strategic planning. You don't reach out to someone unless you know that they can be bought and paid for, right? To have a true interview, you would have to interview with someone who's impartial. You can't have an interview if the interviewer is on your side. It's a conflict of interest now because they're on your side. So they're not going to ask you questions that's going to really put you on the hot seat. If I was interviewing those boys, they would not last during that interview because I'm not going to show them no favor at all. I'm going to ask them real questions. I'm going to ask them questions like, were you and Nolan and the guys using any form of drugs? Were drugs being distributed? What's really going on? Did you guys cover up something? Did you guys see Nolan drowning and couldn't help him and decide to leave him behind? I'm going to make it uncomfortable for them because I want to see their body language. I want to see how they react, their eye contact, their posture, because I'm good with reading body language. This is what they do when they interrogate you in law enforcement. When they bring you in and the detective is interrogating you, it's not just them talking to you. They look at that body language, how you act. Are you getting upset? Because all of that play a role in signs of guilt. You can't hide it. When you're guilty of something, your body reacts, bro. It's just like when you eat something that is you have an allergic reaction to, the body's going to react. You can't stop it. You know, it's like if somebody startle you, you jump. The body just reacts. You can't control it. So when you're lying, there's certain signs. When there's a sense of when there's signs of let's see, that let's say there's some foul play or negligence, or you feel like maybe you're to blame for something, that it'll show through your posture, through the way you communicate. There's things in the interview with Tatum, in my opinion, that are red flags. The fact that the boys keep having to say that Nolan was like a brother, and it keeps trying to stress that. You don't got to keep saying these things over and over. You don't have to prove nothing to us, the public, because it's not like we brought you into court. So why would an attorney want the boys to interview on Tatum? Because they know Tatum can buck dance for them boys. It has been proven, you know, and I'm fair and balanced. But Officer Tatum mainly play more so towards the white community. That's a fact. That is a proven fact, guys. Tatum plays more towards the white community. He do not play towards the black community at all. If anything, he will point out all the flaws of the black community. That is how he makes his money. And remember, Tatum is married to a white woman, so naturally, he cannot focus primarily on black people. Why? Because his children are most likely mixed. So he can't be pro-black. He can't. Even if he's a black man, if he have a white woman, he have kids that are pretty much mixed. So he can't be 100% pro-black like the pro-blackity blacks that are on social media. He can't be like them. So his message and his content is going to most likely lean towards the white community. And being that these white boys are Nolan's friends, he already took the side. That's why I made videos talking about that. And I said that I think that Tatum is doing a disservice to the community because he's not fair. He already made it clear that he is going to defend those boys no matter what. Once I hear that, I can't rock with you now. Because what if it comes out? What if it comes out that the boys did something? What if somebody released some video that shows something and it shows the boys in a very bad light? What is Tatum going to say in his defense? His career on social media is over, because I would make 1,000 videos about it. I'd be like, bro, you were riding with these young men and it came out that they did something. What if something comes out? That's why I don't take sides, because you never know who's who. How many of you been betrayed by friends? How many of you had a friend that you really cared about, somebody that you were rocking with, that you really thought that this person really was a true blue friend, and it came out they were a snake and they betrayed you, and it hurt you deeply because you're like, bro, I truly thought you were my mans in them, bro. Or if you were a lady and one of your girlfriends really betrayed you, did you dirty, bad, and it hurt you to the core to be like, I can't believe you did this to me. I invited you to my house. You were around my family. I took you in. I supported you. I did everything for you. And you did this to me? Bro, it messed you up inside. We've all been betrayed like that by people. And they were by people that we consider to be friends. So I've already known this, man. So I don't look at people just because they say you're friends that it mean that they perfect. Friends can betray you. But I don't agree with the family of Nolan Wells because they made it a race issue and they concluded that all white people are racist. They threw Mississippi under the bus. And keep in mind, they live in Mississippi. They lived in a white community, and that's how they treated people in Mississippi? That's racism right there. They're being racist. You just can't blame an entire community, generalize all white people as racist because your son died. Do you see white people doing that? How many times have white folk died? Have you ever seen them come online and generalize the whole black community because their son died? No. They just let the evidence come in and let the courts do what they got to do, and that's it. But what do we do in the black community? We call all white people racist. Bro, it's a sickness. We got to stop that, man. It's disgusting. And you wondering why there's so much racial tension. Because people don't trust nobody and they're angry. Imagine if you are a resident in Mississippi and you're white and you know that you're not no racist. You're not denying the history of Mississippi. At the same time, you know you don't get down like that. And you see this Nolan Wells case. And it just makes everybody uncomfortable. You walk into a restaurant, people looking at you weird. It's not good. It's not good. And up to now, I haven't heard Nolan Wells' mother come out in the public and said, hey guys, I just want to speak on behalf of my family. Even though we're going through what we're going through, we know that there's a lot of racial tension and we really don't want this going on. And I just want to apologize to Mississippi, the community where we're from. Whether you're white or black, we really are not trying to. She never did this. She never came out and really tried to calm people down and just kind of say, well, we don't condone what we see on social media. It's like she enjoying this, bro. That's what I look at. I look at those key things and I'm saying, nah, man, this family want people to be divided, man. They want us to be divided. They want black people to think that we're all victims and we need to be fearful of white people. That's what they're saying. I'm looking at posts and blogs where black people are like, if you have a black son or a daughter, don't let them hang around a group of white kids if they're the only black child there. You know how racist it is to say such a thing? That's sick. So should my girls go to the school they attend because they're black and they're around predominantly white kids? You know, should they go there? Because there's things that my kids hear in school. I talked about that in video where you hear white kids using the N-word. And my girls would report that to teachers and whatnot. It's going to happen, guys. But guess where they learn that from? They learn that from their parents. You can't stop that type of stuff. But I'm not going to generalize all white people as racists because of a few bad apples. You understand? Nor am I going to have my kids being afraid to be around anybody that's different from them. The school they attend to is predominantly white. Predominantly white. You see that? So what should I do? Should I take my girls out and put them in an all black school? Is that going to make it better? No, it's not. Because then they got to deal with another black girl hating my girls because I got, pretty girls. So now I got to worry about bullies and girls fighting girls now in the black community schools. So no matter where you put them, they're going to deal with the bull crap. You put them in an all-black school, they're going to deal with the nonsense. You put them in an all-white school, somebody is going to be racist somewhere. But guess what? You can't change that, man. All you could change is you. So all I'm saying is all you could do is be you. It's just that simple. A lot of kids learn what they learn from their family. Most public schools, why do you think a lot of people send their kids to private schools? You got white folks that don't even send their kids to the public white schools because they don't want their kids to get poisoned by nothing. You know? You got some people, they homeschool, they have private schools, and it is what it is. But when you send your kids to school, guys, it doesn't matter how well you taught your children are going to be exposed to some of the most toxic kids out there. It's no different than the penitentiary. I used to always talk about modern day schools is like the penitentiary. Your kids go there to get an education, but they're also being influenced by other stuff that you didn't teach them. That's why it takes good parents to raise their kids so that even if your kids attend these schools, they don't pick up all that garbage. At least for my girls, because they were raised properly, when they go to school, they just do what they got to do and they come home. They do what they got to do. They come home. They know not to mix mingle with garbage. But I don't teach my kids that when they go to school, oh, those white people, don't talk to them. Don't make friends. I don't do that goofy stuff. That's evil. That's wicked. You know what I'm saying? If a child is toxic, my daughters already know not to associate with that person because they're toxic. And I'm pretty sure if you're white, you teach your kids the same thing. And it doesn't matter if a kid is white or black. You're going to teach your children if another child is toxic and they're doing wicked stuff that we didn't teach you, I don't want you around them. You walk away and you mind your business. You understand? So this couple made this a race issue. And they hired civil rights attorneys and leaders to represent them. Why? Because they're battling white people. They're not battling black people. They didn't hire Crump because it's a black issue. It's because they have an issue with Mississippi, and that's how they're going to get money. This is sick.
And the family would not be prudent to testify on WSB Atlanta.
Hi, my name is Jahara Wilson with Blavity. You're calling on the Department of Justice to open an independent federal review of Nolan's death. What do you believe federal investigators could uncover that local and state authorities...
Let me clarify also, the Congresswoman want to give some clarity.
Also, I do want to clarify that we've given them 7 days to respond. It was 7 days. So I'm sorry about that.
Your question was, what do we hope to get from them, the federal investigation? What anybody will hope. We are taxpayers too. It's the federal resources that can offer resources to help investigate the matter thoroughly. And so Nolan was not only Christine and Elmo's child, but when you think about it in a philosophical way, he was all of our children.
No, he was not all of our children. That's a lie. Stop lying, Crump. Nolan was not all of our children. If that's the case, we would all be taking care of everybody's children. No, we're not. People take care of their own kids. You're playing on the minds of the viewers so that we can be emotional. I don't fall for that stuff. I'm just calling it what it is. They act like they didn't know Nolan's friends. Well, how was Nolan able to hang out with these guys? How your son hanging out with people you don't even know? That makes sense?
But by the grace of God, it could be our child next.
No, it's not going to be our child next. I rebuke that in Jesus' name. Stop wishing death on our kids. Don't let people say those type of things, guys, without protecting your children. When you hear people say, well, that could have been my child, don't ever say that over your kids. No. If you taught your son and daughter right to stay away from certain things, then they should live by your rules and your guidance. If they rebel and go out there and do something dumb and they end up dying, that's their choice, man. That has nothing to do with you. If you raised them properly and they made bad decisions, they got to eat that, man. They got to do what they got to do. But don't ever let somebody project Nolan's situation on your children.
And don't, as American citizens, we have the absolute right to say our federal government should extend resources for our children like they will extend to everybody else. I would never forget when President Obama, with Reverend Al and I, when Trayvon Martin was unalive, And he said that it's important that we extend all of the resources.
Why do Crump talk like an uneducated N-word? Why do he talk like that? Why do this civil rights attorney that's supposed to be educated talk like he have no damn sense? He talks like he's 3 years old. He talks like we're all a bunch of kids. He's talking in this way like we're victims. I cannot stand this stuff, bro. Am I the only one who can hear this? He don't sound like an educated man.
Of the federal government to help this family get to answers of the truth. And that's all you would want if it was your child. That's all they want if their child. Every resource available. Help me. Help us get to the truth.
What truth? The truth is he died by a freak accident. We don't know. We can't explain it. When you have a death like that, you just move on. But no, let's blame some white people for it because after all, his friends are white.
And let me say that and answer that. It's important that you understand that when we raise these issues, that's all what we wanted. We raised the issue. I was out front. Ben was the attorney with Trayvon Martin. And we finally got George Zimmerman in court. When the jury said not guilty, we said we disagreed, but we didn't go and attack his parents. We didn't go and chase him down. We accepted that. When we had the killing in Missouri with Michael Brown, and President Obama was president, we asked for the federal government to come in there. Eric Holder and them investigated the case and said there was no federal case that they could bring. We accepted that. So don't act like we don't accept it. We accept it when Michael Brown's case didn't go federal. We accept things when they're fair. But we want.
You see how they literally coaching them in the background, y'all. You don't see how Christine's posture changed? It's almost like they said, we need you to put on them sad faces. We need you to make it look like you're just a hurting, grieving mother.
Them to be fair. That's why I said, as the congressman said, they're giving them 7 days. The FBI come back either way, but we want it reviewed by the Congress at some point. I'm on my way tomorrow to Madison, Wisconsin, to deal with Ruiz shot on camera. While I'm there's a company trying to get a contract that is in business with ICE. I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. We look at it from a civil rights point of view. They're dealing with it from their son. This is fresh in blood.
The Nolan Wells case is not a civil rights issue. You understand? They turned it into a political issue now. It's not a civil rights. Nobody's civil rights were violated. You know? Nolan is not even African American. He's a Filipino. And I don't got nothing against Filipino people. Nothing at all. What we're not going to do is have you pose like you're African American when you're not. That's uncalled for. We don't know. We're not going to do that. You're not going to claim that you're black when you're not. And that's what the mother's doing. She's posing like a black woman. She's not a black woman, guys. I do this all the time. Every video. I've made a bunch of videos. Check out the playlist. I got a playlist with a plethora of videos, fam. Probably more than 50 plus videos on this case. And I just be dropping gems over and over. And people been hating me for speaking the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
Susanna Capaluca with NPR. Has the DA said anything to your attorneys regarding the joint investigation of the cell phone?
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
Now they're talking about the cell phone, gang. Check it out.
Please.
Oh, sorry. Has the DA said anything, given any guidance on the joint investigation of the cell phone?
We are in constant communication, and just like anything, I'd like to address the gentleman sitting next to you. What was your name again?
Greg.
Oh, Greg.
Yeah. You get two shots, yeah.
This is Greg Dunmore.
Okay. Just to address Greg's question. You know, the truth has to be...
She's acting like she's hot, guys. Look at the lady in the back fanning Christine. That's her cue of, oh, you could get off the stage now. Like, really? You got 800,000. You need somebody to fan you with a piece of paper? Why don't you have one of them things, them portable fans and them portable neck fans that you put around your neck till you can stay cool? Stop it.
proven and shown with the methodology, the way they came about. Someone just can't come out and say, hey, I have a Ferrari, and then you believe they have a Ferrari. I don't have a Ferrari. The truth has to be shown. You got to bring them to your garage, show them the title. That's the truth. And yes, we will accept the truth. So the same way with what the young lady sitting next to you is saying, which is we have procedures that the courts require that we as lawyers ethically have to follow in order to turn over evidence. There's chains of custody. There's protected private information. And we are willing, in fact today, I'm not doing anything the rest of the day, to meet with the FBI and our person, our expert, to go over that phone.
So you guys never investigated Nolan's phone yet? Are y'all listening to this? Guys, they didn't even investigate Nolan's phone yet to find out what's going on. Remember, Christine made it public that, somebody was messing with his phone. They deleted stuff from his phone. And you had all of these internet hustlers, all of these liars were going around claiming that Nolan's phone was deleted. A bunch of lies. Nothing was deleted. So nobody investigated Nolan's phone yet, guys. So his phone is sitting in their custody. So nobody's doing no investigating. But yet, they want to subpoena the boys so they could get their phones. Make it make sense.
We've made that clear. So we're ready to do that at any moment.
In any moment, which means they haven't yet. So Nolan's phone have not yet been investigated to find out if anything was deleted, removed, whatever. These people are not looking for the truth, guys. If they were looking for the truth, Nolan's phone would have been investigated already.
Lisa just want to say one last point on that point.
I'm going to back up a little bit. So just to clarify, what the agreement was that the DA's office, and this is the Jackson County DA's office, as well as our forensic team, and possibly the FBI, were going to together download and examine the phone. So it's done one time with everybody together.
So nobody examined it yet. So guys, it's been literally almost 2 months. Nobody examined Nolan Wells' phone till this day, guys. This is crazy.
This is very common in the law. I mean, what you all may be more used to is when there's a terrible car accident, and then there's an examination of that car, and everybody comes together one time. They don't move that car around, and everybody does their own thing. This is what is supposed to happen. We are waiting for the DA to determine the time, the place, the date. Let us know, and we are going to be there with our forensics team and anybody else, but it's done one time, one examination. We're ready for it to happen.
Julie Walker, Associated Press. Can you give us a sort of a timeline or what's next going forward, including any possible lawsuits that would be filed, not against you, as you had mentioned before, but that you would be filing, and then the completion of the independent autopsy and how that's moving along, and anything else that would be moving forward? And I know you had mentioned you wanted that national day. Other than that, anything in the future?
Well, we want to make sure people understand we're going to follow the truth wherever it leads us. There's been a lot made about we want to come and bring some lawsuit. When Christine and Elmore called me, we weren't thinking about bringing a lawsuit. We were thinking about just helping them get to the truth.
No, you mean helping them to get some money. That's what civil rights attorneys do. They bring the family money. You're not trying to prosecute nobody. You're not trying to get nobody arrested. Your job as a civil rights attorney is to drag stories as long as possible to get public attention so that the media is publishing it, and that's when the money can start pouring in.
That is a vehicle that we can use to get to the truth if the facts tell us that. We send out preservation letters, and everybody said, oh, they're going to sue them. No. We send out preservation letters to preserve the evidence. Right. And in those standard letters, you say litigation is reasonably anticipated to say, don't get rid of the evidence.
That's kind of too late. You sent out those letters late. By this time, if those boys wanted to get rid of something, they could have been did that already. You know? Like, for example, even on YouTube, right? YouTube have like a policy thing that they have. Let's say, for example, you're a content creator and let's say YouTube demonetize you, right? Because you are doing something that goes against their rules. They'll have a feature where they tell you if you're going to, I guess, what's that word? If you're going to respond to, I guess, their decision, they tell you don't delete nothing that's on your page. Because why? They don't want you to delete any evidence of things that may have caused or triggered the system for you to get in trouble. But what a lot of people do is they'll try to go delete stuff. See? And what I'm trying to do is bring up this point to make you understand that Crump and his team sent out these letters or whatnot after the fact. It's kind of too late. If these boys were hiding something, they would have been started removing stuff. So you can't send letters out saying, don't remove this, don't remove that, because if they did earlier and your investigators find that they did, in fact, move something or deleted something, you can't use that against them because they never got those letters. It's almost like you sent the letters late in hopes that if they did remove something, you got them. Nope. Because the minute they receive the letter, that is when it takes effect. So if they did remove something prior, that don't count. That don't count. But see, they're trying to run a play. They're trying to play a game to make it look like, oh, the boys must have hid something or hid something. How you going to send out anything in regards to the boys, but you ain't even investigate Nolan's phone yet? They didn't even check Nolan's phone, guys. But they're saying that they want the truth. This don't make sense.
We're on record that we want the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And that's what's going to lead us in what we do. It's about the evidence, nothing else. And this family has always said from day one, even when I called Reverend Allen, we talked to him, they have been consistent. We want to know what happened to our child. Everything else is just, it's just clickbait and everything. It's about what happened to our child. Black press, NABJ, we need you now more than ever to keep everybody focused. What happened to this 18-year-old black teenager in Mississippi?
He drowned. That's what happened to him. He drowned. Case closed. Nobody did nothing to him. You don't got no evidence, no proof, no nothing. What investigation you have? Who are you investigating? You don't have anything. This is a waste of time. They're focusing on making money, guys. That's it.
Because there have been questions when you look at the history of the Deep South where young black people are unalived.
Why are you talking about the history of the Deep South and talking about black people that were unalived? That have nothing to do with Nolan Wells. Why are you making it a race issue? See, this is what I cannot stand, guys. They're making it seem like it's not a race issue, but look at what Crump keep doing. He keep bringing up the Deep South and what happened to black people and X, Y, and Z. Stop doing that.
And nobody ever gets any answers. Well, we want Nolan Wells not to be like many others that came before him.
And that is why, as I said earlier, August 28th, the anniversary of Dr. King's March, Martin III and I we were doing a huge march in Washington, Lincoln Memorial. This will be highlighted in other cases because these things keep happening. And to protect the right to vote. So we intend.
Do you see how he's focusing on politics, guys? That's what this is about, man. They using Nolan Wells' death, man, for political purposes, man. He's a sacrifice, y'all. It took Nolan Wells' death for them to focus on politics.
To stay out on the battlefield as long as necessary. Yes.
And I'd ask about the independent autopsy.
We understand that Dr. Roger Mitchell made himself available at any point that the district attorney's office and the medical examiner will allow him to come. He's ready, willing, and able to go do it.
Brooklyn Banks with NABJ News. You mentioned just now that multiple cases have happened like this that are similar. What do you think about this case in particular being called race politics?
About this case in particular, what?
Being considered race politics.
I think that the race politics of this case has been the reaction. I think that we're not predetermining that the case was racial.
That's exactly what you guys are doing. What do you mean you're not pointing it to race? That's exactly what Crump and Al is doing, fam. Notice how he told Christine and them to get off the stage now. You see that?
We're determining that the answer, the investigation, has been racially divided, and that's what made it racist. Yeah, I'll take two more. This is a press conference, not a revival. We're not going to be here all afternoon.
Yes, sir. Don also with the Atlanta Voice. In particular, piggyback on what Attorney Trump said, is it the fact that this happened in Mississippi why it seems to be so difficult to get answers in regards to the young black man's death?
Now think about that. They tongue-tied right now. He basically asked them, is it difficult to get those answers that you guys need in regards to Nolan because of the fact that it happened in Mississippi? Let's see how they answer.
Did you say Trump or rather than Crump? I'm just trying to. Yeah, we're praying for you at the prayer meeting.
I want to keep an open mind. I know there have been several attacks on us just for asking questions, and it's okay. I mean, when you think about Mississippi, they attacked all my heroes. The governor's predecessors, they attack, Ida B. Wells, Medgar Evers, my personal hero, Thurgood Marshall, Dr. Martin Luther King.
My goodness, bro. Are these the only names in existence? I'm tired of hearing about these names, bro. Like, do y'all see this as a political issue now? Y'all can't see it?
For saying that we're going to stand up for black life and black humanity.
So where are you in the black community, Crump, when there's black on black crime? Why is it that Ben Crump is never at the projects in Brooklyn, New York? How come you never see Crump at Marcy Projects, Farragut Projects, Ingersoll, Marcy, Tompkins? How come he's never there? How come he's not at Sumner houses? How come? How come he's not at Brownsville Projects, fighting for black people, the poor, black on black crime? How come you don't ever see Crump in the hood at the corner talking to the drug dealers, talking to the gang members? You could communicate with them too. I worked in the hood. I lived in the hood. You understand? I lived in the hood. I worked in the hood. And I'm going to tell you straight up, fam. When you're in the hood, in the projects, even though you might have a lot of thugs, you might have a lot of gang members and all this other stuff, you can still communicate with them. They'll talk to you. But there's a certain way in which you got to communicate. There's a certain code. There's a certain way in which you have to speak. It's all about respect. Once you disrespect, nobody ain't taking you serious. So we never seen Crump in the hood. Never. You don't see Al Sharpton. You never see these so-called civil rights leaders. Never. You never see them, guys. So my thing is, what's going on? And why you only see them on television and never see them out in the public in the places that really need help? The only time you see them is when it involves somebody that's white that's doing to somebody that's black. That's the only time you see them.
And the right to black people to have the Constitution applied to them as American citizens. So I'm unapologetic in my defense of black life, black liberty, and black humanity. God has a calling on all our lives. And when you figure out what that calling is, you don't second guess it. You say, God, I know why I put on this earth, to be there, to stand up for our people in times when they have nobody else to stand up for them. And so whether it's Mississippi or anywhere else in the deep South, or as Malcolm X said, I heard they discriminate against black people in the South. He said, I guess my definition of the South would be anything beneath the Canadian border, because last time I checked, they discriminate against black people all across America. And so what we're saying is we are open-minded. We want to trust them, but we can't be naive. We have to verify everything, as Attorney Hurt said. Whatever conclusions you come to, we want the methodology. Whatever investigation you're doing, we want to know that it's the same investigation that you would do with your child, not treat Nolan any differently. That's what we're trying to do. That's all we're asking.
All right, we're going to take one more, and then we have to take the family out. Jesse Jackson.
Do you see what he's doing? So he's basically saying that white people don't take black cases serious. That's what he's basically saying. And the thing is, Nolan is not even a black kid. He's a Filipino.
Junior, who has his own radio show.
I represent KVLA today. Let me ask a question, Reverend Sharp and Reverend Trump, and even the Congresswoman. Nolan Wells's body was found on federal territory, Horn Island, run by the National Park Service. Are you aware of any death investigation opened up by the National Park Service into his death on federal land? First question, actually 2 parts. There have been 7 arrests made for the swimming pool, also run by the National Park Service. Why the disparity between arrests over the reflecting pool in front of the Lincoln Memorial and 0 arrests, subpoenas regarding the National Park Service in the case of Nolan?
The answer, and I have the lawyer's answer, is that is why we raised it, thanks to the CBC and Congresswoman, to a federal level, because the federal government has to answer those questions of involvement, because Horn Island is federal property. And while they can have a grand jury indict around the reflection pool, then announce they're pulling back the charges, now have with a new special grand jury. They done went to a pool twice and haven't come to Horn Island one time, and it was federal property. So I think that the contradiction there is why we keep raising the question.
And also, too, as a matter of record, you know, being in Congress, there is federal oversight. And I sit on Judiciary Committee in Congress. We also have the Senate Judiciary Committee. And oftentimes there are a lot of these kinds of investigations that come before us because we have the authority for oversight. So since this is considered, at this point, would be considered something of national federal interest, that is the reason why we're asking for the accountability to make sure that this is not just swept under the rug.
Thank you, Doctor.
And also to the members, I'm just going to keep the live chat from now on. Just keep it on members. If you notice, I've been trying to kind of keep it on subscriber mode to try to let other people kind of join in. And it's like every time we do that, we keep getting the damn trolls coming in, disrupting the live chat, just acting crazy and just being animals. And I don't like that. I want the live chat to have, you know, a sense of, you know, clarity where you could just come in and you could see people post comments and it's not no drama. Nobody's beefing, nobody arguing. You just posting comments and it's just clean, you know? So I'm just going to keep it like that, because when you try to open it public, man, it's like it just invites all sorts of evil spirits, and people complain about me having the live chat on members only. Like, that's just crazy. I can't keep the live chat public. It just becomes toxic, and it'll just make people not want to post a comment. Like, why would I want to post a comment if there's a bunch of trolls attacking me? Who wants to be around that mess? And then if I allow that garbage, people will think that I'm doing it, like I'm tolerating it, or I'm allowing people to do these things on my platform. So no, I'm gonna keep it on members only. And if the live chat was ever on public, it's possibly because I'm on my cell phone and I'm outside. If I'm outside and I'm on my cell phone and I'm live, I have no control over that. But if I'm indoors and I'm in the house, I'm gonna make sure it's on members only. That's about it. Let's get back to it. It's almost done.
And I'll say in conclusion, thank you to the media now more than ever, the fourth branch of government, we need you. NABJ, we need you now more than ever. We're talking about Nolan Wells, but remember, there were two other 18-year-old black teenagers who were unalive in highly questionable situations. Tyler Smith and David Irvin. And we need to be talking about this.
David, isn't it Daniel Irvin? I know I put that up on the screen, guys. Is it David or Daniel? Let me see. I know I'm not bugging out. Let me see. It says Daniel Irvin. I don't know. He must have made a mistake or something. But let's go.
We got, you know, the young lady, Alyssa Hackett, who was, I mean, brutalized by a state trooper and who cursed her. I mean, she's a tiny black teenager. And, you know, Reverend Allen, as we were looking at the video, as a girl dad, I mean, if a police officer can't have an interaction with a black teenage girl without body slamming her, cursing her, and punching her in the face.
You know, what's interesting about when Crump speak is that he don't ever talk about the fact that in a lot of these cases that involves police and various other things, they don't ever talk about the fact that a lot of times black folk, when they have these police encounters, they don't follow no instructions, right? They just argue with police and they do things that set up circumstances where cops react a certain way. Nobody talks about those things. It's like, let's just blame the cop. And I'm not saying all cops are perfect. My point is, nobody's talking about what happens in between, you know, the encounter. Nobody talks about the do's and the don'ts. It's like there was a situation that happened where I believe some people were shoplifting and a kid ended up getting shot because the cops did something and shot at the vehicle and whatnot. And the kid must have got shot. I'm not sure if the child died or what happened, but they were just making it seem like the cops are racist. But they don't talk about the fact that people are shoplifting. Nobody talks about that. You know, if you're shoplifting and you got your child with you, you're putting your child in danger.
What does that say about where we're at in America in 2026? This is about covering those stories, even when people who may...
So she was resisting and wouldn't put her hands behind her back. Wow. See, this is what I mean. They don't talk about that part. Because if you're just following orders, put your hand behind your back, cool. Boom, 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 boom. We'll deal with this in court. We'll deal with this at the precinct. Cool. But if you resist it and y'all start fighting and then you get hurt in the process, how you gonna blame the cop and say the cop is a racist? Like, it's just crazy.
Your news outlets don't want you to cover the stories. We need you to give us a voice in the tradition of Ida B. Wells. We can't have the police just writing the narratives and the reports. We need you all writing those narrative reports. And you got to challenge your wife.
I'm going to look back up those stories and look for those cases and find out what's going on, because it seemed like any case that Crump is a part of, he's not giving you the full story.
Counterparts and say it. Ida B. Wells said famously, Reverend Al, the killers write the police reports. No, we need NABJ to write the reports and the narratives. Thank you. Thank you.
So that's about it, guys, with that. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. We're going to pretty much get up on out of here, do what we got to do. You know, so Nolan Wells' mother, Christine Wonsley, press conference was bad. Yeah, it's always bad because these folks, they come online, they start acting and putting on a show. Now, we got a lot of content that we got to do, guys. So I'm going to definitely be back later on. We're going to try to do these live streams probably like 3 times a day. I find that if I can bust out these live streams in the morning time or, you know, like, yeah, definitely in the morning to click into the mid and afternoon, and then I could get more stories out there. So I got to cover part 2 and 3 of the Brandon Tatum interview with the boys. So I got to do those 2. And I got to continue my video with Umar Johnson. We never finished that one. And there's a couple of other live streams that I got to do in regards to this situation. But it's just a lot of stuff that's coming down, guys. A lot of stuff. Oh, so they got the police body cam of that story? Okay, I'm going to look for it and whatnot. I'm going to look for it and find out what's going on with that. Because Crump loves to exaggerate and make it seem like everything is racial, but he never tells you about people resisting. He never tell you about that. That's what I don't like about these stories, is that they don't tell you these other parts. What led up to it? What did the alleged victim did? You know, they don't tell you that. You know, and it's just sad. But we're going to get up on out of here, guys. I appreciate everybody stopping by. It is what it is. Supporting the show. Shout out to Monica for the $4.99. Appreciate you sponsoring the work. If you're new to the platform, be sure to subscribe to the channel, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Post a comment. Let us know what you think. If you like our work, let us know. We'll catch you later on with more. Pretty much get on outside, do what I got to do, and probably get my walk and talk videos going and whatnot. And we'll be back live later on with more. And yeah, so you guys have a blessed Friday. You know, some of y'all probably got out of lunch, probably back at the workplace. If you're on the road, drive safe, guys. You know, don't let nobody take your peace and ruin your day. You got a lot of people out here that just don't want people to have a good day, and they try to ruin your day. Don't let them do that to you. Just stay at peace and just think on something positive. And that's that. So we're going to get up on out of here, guys. So y'all take care, rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll catch you in the next video. Y'all have a blessed day. Ringo TV Reactions. The #1 reactionary channel on YouTube, putting in work since 2006 till now. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And we'll catch you on the next episode of Ringo TV. We out of here. Peace.
If you like our content, consider supporting via Cash App at $Ringo TV Raw. Become a patron on patreon.com for exclusive video content not shown on YouTube. You could also support through PayPal at paypal.me/Ringo TV Raw. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified of new content. Follow me on Instagram at Ringo TV Raw.
This is Ringo TV Reactions, the only channel on YouTube bringing you the truth 100% raw and uncut.